Oh my god, that took a lot of lung strength for me, guys.
Welcome to Screen Source, the Sicario Day of the Soldado, or Sicario 2, as us Americans.
As white people call it.
As white people call them. Trailer review, amongst some other little things that we'll talk about today, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Surprise!
Surprise! Yes, normally on twitch.tv/colorsticket live every Sunday at 6 p.m. MST, but, we're testing some waters. We'll be on YouTube. We'll be on Facebook. Come check us out. So you guys want to start this trailer right off the bat?
Yeah.
Go straight to it?
Do it.
Cool. Let's do it.
Nope.
It's all right.
No worries.
We'll get there. We're
getting there. We're
It's
getting
fine.
there.
Yeah.
You know, it's Sunday evening. We're tired.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
This
We've
allowed.
I know who you are. You're the attorney whose family they killed.
Not they.
My father.
Póntelos.
And now you hunt them.
Adios.
Such a gnarly
What?
There's proof the cartel helped the terrorists get to the border.
The president's adding drug cartels to the list of terrorist organizations.
You can understand how that will expand our ability to combat them.
You want to see this thing through? I'm gonna have to get dirty.
Dirty is exactly why you're here.
You're gonna help us start a war.
With who?
Everyone. No rules this time.
Is it?
Your objective is to start a war between the Mexican cartels,
Damn.
not with the Mexican government.
This girl was witness to the mission, correct?
Yes, sir.
We can't risk her falling into the wrong hands. Clean the scene.
They want me to cut ties. You gotta get rid of her.
I can't do that.
Don't put me in that situation.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm gonna need a strike team, 2 Blackhawks, drones with attack capability.
Where's the coup?
Mexico.
You have no reason to trust me. But trust in me is how you're gonna survive.
Good luck.
Luck doesn't live on this side of the border.
Movie. Then
Yes.
Extra, this is very much a lot more action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I may.
Yeah.
Soldado!
Soldado! Sicario.
One other observation I've got here is it just me, or does Josh Brolin, can he turn his head and look like a completely different actor?
Yeah.
He looks like 3 different actors at any
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
Looks like
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Jeff Bridges. There's
Yes.
it's weird.
It's kind of cool. Like you can
He looks
morph
like his
into
dad.
different characters.
He looks exactly like his dad. It's a
Yeah.
little
He's
crazy.
quite a face on that guy.
Yeah.
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 Sometimes a little bit of Mickey Rourke, especially when
I was
he's-
just about to
yeah,
say
yeah,
Mickey
yeah,
Rourke.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit of that. It was like, that's a versatile fucking face you got.
Yeah.
I get
Yes.
Channing Tatum all the time, so I understand what you're going through, Josh Brolin. It's all right.
You know, I'm still taken aback by the whoever our viewers were that thought I looked like Christian Bale.
Ooh, did somebody say that? Yeah, you do.
It was
You do
during
have
the
a Christian.
I've
We
never-
talked-
I've
we talked about this.
Never even thought about that. I
Yeah.
thought that was it was new to me. Anyway, Soldado.
First off, thanks to everybody online that saw our Avengers Infinity War trailer drop. We're on
Yeah.
19,586.
Hi everybody.
Oh, I wanted to hit 20,000
Thank
so
you.
bad.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's the best
guys
we've
are
ever
great.
done. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how things go.
This
Yes,
is we are the crew that brings it to you.
the crew that brings it to you.
I like that.
So, what would you guys
Your
think of the
new motto.
trailer? First off,
Seems really action packed.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Very-
Yeah. I
you
don't
said very
know.
different.
Yes,
Yes.
because I liked the sort of
Slow burn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot of quiet, a lot of
Tension.
a lot of, and you were sort of I don't
like a
know.
classic
I was
horror.
expecting a lot more. I was like, think something's gonna happen. Something's gonna pop off. anytime now.
Yeah.
And that it didn't most of the times that I had that feeling.
I liked that about
I
the
did
first one
too,
a
and I
lot.
felt like it was saying something very specific about the world that we live in and the way that we are dealing with
consuming all of this
yeah
things that's going on right now.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that we're dealing with them and the way our government is dealing with it and all of the way we as humans are reacting and the two very extreme reactions that we get from the main characters.
Fitting. Yeah.
And this is more of a revenge flick.
Yeah.
So-
which is fine. I am down with a good revenge
So this
flick.
is about the Mexican cartel bringing over terrorists from Mexico to America, and the CIA teaming up with this hitman, Benicio del Toro.
10-10 would do.
You mentioned
Yep.
10-10. You mentioned like it being tonally different.
Yeah.
Here's why. Dennis Villanueva, if you guys are familiar, 2049, his most recent endeavor, which was amazing. And I think about Sicario and I think about 2049, and I can see that tone kind of there. It's not fast. It's not incredibly slow either. And there's tension, and I like that. And the music is like so important to Dennis. I've noticed. So
Very
the
much a
new
medium burn.
Yep.
the new film is not directed by him. It is directed by Stefano Solima, who's done works such as Romanzo Criminale, La City, A Cobb, All Cops Are Bastards, and Gomorrah, the TV series, and Sabura.
Great.
Sabura.
So nothing I've ever
Okay.
heard of.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that one is also a
I butchered all of that.
cultural-centric, like very or no,
Yeah.
I believe it's actually mafia centric.
Okay.
Gomorrah. Yeah.
This feels very much that.
Because just from the picture I see here. Oh, I'm sorry. Please.
No, you're fine. I just had a thought, which was the whole thing where she's talking about, she's like, hey, the CIA cannot operate within our own borders. Like, you don't have jurisdiction here. So
Right.
if they're teaming up with the CIA.
Wait, if who's teaming up with the CIA?
If the CIA is teaming up with
Benicio
del Toro.
Yeah, which they did before.
Yeah, I know. Sort of under the rug.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and just reminded me to call back to what Josh Brolin's character said last time. Is just that they are that it's hard to go outside of
Such
the
a dick.
boundaries if you move the boundaries.
Sure.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just
We've
like
moved.
they-
It wasn't him. It was the other guy who's really famous that we all know. Oh, he plays
I
an
love those
asshole like
words.
all the time. Fuck! No, he's got white hair. Y'all are screaming at me right now.
The one who was the
Her
supervisor.
sympathetic boss. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and then as she was kind of forced to sign the papers
Yeah.
at the end there, it was just it's probably just showing what all of these bent ass agents are able to kind of get away with under
Sweep
the
it away,
jurisdiction.
yeah.
Actually, sorry. I have something else now that we're talking about how she was forced to sign the papers, and then we're talking about Josh Brolin's character. So, as a woman watching this, it was really interesting the physical reactions I had toward watching her be helpless in the idea that she is not, and she has been shown to not be a helpless person.
No, she is a badass
So
physically.
when
in this
she's
movie.
when she's being choked out by the guy that she brought home, that's a fucking situation that is like pretty realistic. But I was sort of like, okay. Like, this is, at least it's, I mean, I was honestly thinking, like, she's gonna pass out and he's gonna leave her there. Because this movie is realistic enough that they're not gonna be like, oh, well, she died after a minute of strangling her.
Okay.
And then when he had the gun to her neck, and I was really honestly thinking, like, is she gonna compromise or not?
Yeah.
You know, because this could come back to her. This could come back to
Real
her
bad
really
way.
bad. That's what I was thinking of. But when Josh Brolin had her down on the ground and was physically holding her down and had his hand on her head and was telling her to stop moving.
Yeah, that was.
It was really an intense moment to
super
watch,
intense moment.
man. And I was like,
It felt very. I don't come from a military family or anything, but it felt very military.
Yeah.
They were talking a lot about the differences between
it
CIA and
also
military.
it also felt like, animal. Like that's what you do
Yeah.
to a dog.
Right.
That's how you subdue a dog.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was just, and it was after being as capable a character as Emily Blunt, portrayed in that. It was that, she also got shot twice in the chest. And was
She
sucked.
comes weaving. Yeah. It's just, it's one of those things that is like, I think it's just by virtue of the fact that it was a woman that I don't think it would have hit me quite the same had it been a man that he was holding in the same way.
Yeah.
Because it kind of feels like, well, at least they're on a level, and like there is nothing she could have ever done, especially if she's wounded, to get the upper hand on this guy who is not wounded and who has no compunction.
Well, and his people weren't going to let anything happen to him, regardless.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they did immediately go after.
Yeah.
His name is Daniel Kaluuya, but immediately my brain is like, they went right after Get Out. And just like had him on the ground. But you know what? She did pop
Wakabi,
him right in the,
just in case anybody else.
She did pop him right in the
She did,
mouth,
yeah.
Yeah, no, she did. And it was a great one. It was just like, it was sort of, I just find it interesting what scenes of women in vulnerable situations will still give me a visceral reaction.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that one was one that really did. I was like, fuck, I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, this whole movie gives me those
I'd
kinds
probably
of
just start
feelings.
crying. I'd be so mad.
Yeah, I really like that end scene where she's like, I'm not going to sign that. Yeah.
And she's like crying. She's like, I can't
do it. Yeah.
do
In good
this.
conscience. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's,
Not even just in good conscience. Like she can't, and it's literally her life or not. Like she knows he will pull that trigger.
Yeah.
He will kill her. Yeah. Definitely.
And he's waiting for her to make the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does that later.
Yep.
He does this same fucking thing. He turns around and he's like, I see you there, and I'm gonna let you make the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting.
You either
that was
pull the trigger
That was
or
an
you
interesting,
don't.
like purposeful, very purposeful move by him because he knew she had the upper hand and he gave her the choice.
Yeah, and he I mean, you saw it in his face too. He's just sort of like,
he's ready for that.
If
power
this
play.
is not just the power play, but like if this is how I go, this is how I go. That's fine.
Yeah.
I have accomplished what I wanted to accomplish.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does he have left? And
What's
it
happening
would
now?
be almost justified. It would be a way that he could go out and be like, yeah, this makes sense.
What were you going to say, Fernando?
Oh, I mean, well, what I was going to say is that any of the situations in which she was potentially disempowered were all through external sources rather than her simply not being a strong enough character.
Right.
Yeah.
She was drunk. She was already had things going on with this guy.
She was in the dark most of the time.
She had to adapt at the moment when she sees the wristband, Also, one other thing. Except for in The Punisher, I immediately distrust John Bernthal.
Yep.
Anytime
Always.
he looks so
Oh,
fucking
is that
sleazy.
who that is?
Yeah.
That's why he looks
That's him.
familiar.
That's Shane
Okay,
from
I
The
was
Walking
like,
Dead. Yeah, it's
He's
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
He
There's
always
no
plays
way
the
to trust
same
him.
character.
Yeah.
Like he's
he just.
always
I was
the
like, he's
same.
so
He's
charming,
always
but there's something
chewing
about his
something,
face
and
that's
he
just
looks-
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's typecast now.
He looks
Yeah.
villainous. He looks villainous. And then, of course, he plays the murderiest fucking character in the Marvel Universe now.
Yeah.
So it's just like, this makes sense, and yet it fits him so well.
He did another one too where it was him and his brother.
I
and
don't
they
know.
were-
Can he really be the murderiest? There is Deadpool.
There is, but he's a whimsical kind of murder.
Yeah.
I mean,
with the way that the shows or the current movies have him, he's very whimsical, and how the comics have him now, he's pretty whimsical.
So what was your
that
connection
guy
with
was up there
Sicario,
before I
Bond?
got here.
I was a PA on the first Sicario.
Okay.
And I was in the second Sicario.
Oh, very cool.
So I realized that
Yeah, he's been like under the rug. Yeah,
did
he's been
not
that-
say this. I was like literally, describing the screen to you guys yesterday because I was talking about the scene I was in for the second one, and I realized you guys had this look, and I was like, "Am I insane?"
Yeah, we were confused.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I was like, "Oh, that's in the second."
It's not
one.
out
Never
yet.
mind.
Soldado!
Soldado!
So where can we see you in the
We'll
second
stop
one?
doing that eventually.
It's very mariachi sounding.
It was just like a really big scene. Just
Okay.
like with lots of people. It was just
You're
me doing
running
that.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
I
it's-
can't really say a lot.
are you
It's not really out
Mexican
yet.
in the second one?
It just deals with a lot of things, man.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You know,
I might be.
I
it's-
might be. I'm brown enough.
we could all kind of be cast as an ethnically ambiguous bunch.
Sure. Actually, yeah.
We're the Scooby Doo
We
of.
would all, honestly, you could quite
No,
easily
you
pass
could.
for mid-country Mexican.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
because I am.
See, there you go.
Or Spanish.
I
Very
can. I
easily
can be Northern Spanish.
what I
I can
am.
also pass as Israeli.
Yeah. I'm
So-
Andalusian, and it's just like we all.
But it's
could
rare.
pass for a very wide. We would cast a very wide net.
But
of
you
Mexico.
don't. But we're talking about film here. Let's be fucking honest. No director is gonna look at me and be like, "Well, she could be Northern Spanish. That's fine.
That's fine. That's
Let's
logical.
cast her in, West Side Story."
You know, to be fair, as well. To be further fair.
Further
I
fair.
have been sent on so many casting calls that were like, oh, Fernando Gonzalez, Hispanic male filter. So they were like, hey, we're sending you out to read for migrant worker #1 or gangbanger #1. And he was like, I've looked like this
My entire life.
It's been the same.
Well,
all the
my
time.
name's not gonna get me much either. That in that way, Evening Starbarian is gonna get some
We can change your
real
last name to
weird.
Soldado.
Yeah, let's go toward a more ethnic name with this real white face. That'll go over super well in 2018.
Overall, do you guys like what the second one looks like it's going for?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. I think it will be fun.
It's
I
very
think it'll
much
be a
Logan
lot of
Blade,
blood.
like,
That's
type
what I
tale.
was gonna say.
Logan?
Yeah, it
It
feels
reminds
like
me of
Logan.
because like little girl.
That's what I was going to say about that just from seeing the picture
Although,
there.
I'm sorry, where was the little girl when he killed everybody in the family?
Right. Maybe she's a little girl of a different family.
What I was thinking is maybe she was
But she
somebody
said
who
you're
was-
the one they killed.
Yeah.
Who killed your fam? Like they killed your
My
family.
father,
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
he goes, not they, and she goes, my dad, my father.
Yeah.
Which makes me think specifically.
It
she's
sounds
the
like a
daughter.
callback.
Yeah,
But
it's
here's
a
the thing also.
of
It's, like,
Alarcon.
it's all about. I mean, all these tales are always about revenge. So there's always someone who shipped off to a different
know.
school.
It's
of
ridiculous.
Borstal some type because
Yeah,
they're rich kids.
children of privilege and money.
How did she
It's
end
terrible.
up with him, though? Where did this happen?
I'm gonna guess.
Well, we're gonna have to see the movie for
yeah.
that.
I'm gonna guess the first 5 minutes of put the glasses on that guy. He stole it from her. That's her bodyguard. Begin kill. Like that's just the start of it.
Could very well be. Yeah, because I mean, they really didn't go into detail about what happened with his character. So
Greatest
Right.
part about action films, you don't have
No,
to
he
give a
just
lot.
went off.
no,
Yeah.
this is going to be a hell of a bullet ballet, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we need to also be prepared that this isn't Sicario 1.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
So coming in with a more of a fresh.
It just happens to be the same
Actors.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my.
Just him. Everything else about it is different.
Brolin's inside there. Brolin's inside there. So
Yeah.
I
Josh
know,
Brolin's
but
still
even
there,
he, but like Josh Brolin, you're not aging super well.
he's
Like they're trying,
Yeah.
but he definitely
working
has
on it.
taken some.
I was going to say it seems that it was Logan adjacent because it's still got Cable in it.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, he looks more like Cable.
Well, it's,
Yeah.
it's like
Well, he
they
probably
left
filmed this
some of the
after that,
makeup
right?
on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also seems to me like he, in the 2 years between the first and second film, that he put on about 10 years of being grizzled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he looks so much more like
They
his
aged
dad
him.
now.
Yeah.
Like,
He looks
and it's not a bad
grizzled.
thing. Like,
Yeah,
he
it's
looks
not.
cool.
Again, I would like 8-10 would do, but
Would recommend.
Would recommend.
Still going.
We should
Yeah.
just.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I'd recommend yet. We'll
just have a
see. Josh Brolin,
separate-
call me.
We should have a separate show where you're just like rating
Yes,
everybody.
just
Hollywood
rating
stars.
all of the celebrities that I would or would not sleep with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's real interesting.
All right. Okay. I guess we'll move on from here to
Mm-hmm.
other news. So I'll take that top left one. People are worried that Rick and Morty season 4 isn't going to come. So there has been some
It's a great still for this topic.
statements surrounding Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland and who else is on the writing team? Rick. I'm looking at Rick.
Morty as well.
Morty was on it.
They cross dimensions.
So Justin Roiland said on Twitter, "For everyone telling me to get back to work on Rick and Morty, turn your attention to Turner. I'm waiting around just like you, making some cool video games in the meantime, though, at Squanch Games. I think that's his game company. He's doing a... He's doing... Oh, no.
Oh, Squanch. That's normal.
He was also doing a Nintendo... Like, he stole the Nintendo word and he turned it into his own kind of, like... He's doing, like, a VR gaming company right now.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, and then Dan Harmon said something too along the lines of like, it's complicated. We have, there's some contractual issues at the moment.
Well, there was like big talks too about the fact that they didn't know what direction they were going to take this fourth season because it's just like, hey, we've done a lot of shit. I've gone through a lot of shit during this production. I don't know what stories I want to write right now. Like he just is like spreading himself thin, trying to figure out what his next creative thing is going to be. And I think the video games are for it while they're figuring out all this contractual stuff.
Yeah, Justin Roiland, not Dan Harmon, by the way.
Okay.
No, Dan Harmon, amongst other things, he's doing a movie about, I think I may have mentioned this last time, Bubbles, the monkey.
Yeah, Michael
Jackson's monkey. He's doing that with who did Thor Ragnarok?
Taika
Waititi. He has a couple other things down the line. He's been hanging out a lot at with
1010
Kevin
would also
Smith's
do.
Kevin Smith's crew. Those people.
Oh yeah, because he just did a Smodcast.
Yeah, he did a Smod. Yeah, where he talked a little bit about Rick and Morty there too. But anyways, my guess is it'll come. I'm not too worried.
Might take a while, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get it. We'll get it when we get it.
Things are worth waiting.
Yeah.
Sure.
True.
Yeah.
And it'll give some time for the fanboys to calm down.
Yes.
Because honestly, that's what it needs.
That's
to
a
have.
that's a
Because
big
that's
problem.
gonna happen.
Does deserve to just kind of boil over a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
and just kind of
yeah.
devour each
If I
other
got to
before
see
we
some
all
other
ignore them.
asshole like, just deal with like Rick and Morty's the best. It's like, please shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
No one
please,
cares anymore.
Nobody cares
Stop.
about your Szechuan sauce.
Yeah.
Did someone say Szechuan sauce?
Szechuan
Oh,
sauce.
no.
Just the worst. All right, so I'm getting
You
this
set
next
it
one
up
here.
for that.
Yeah, what's going on with Street Fighter, bud?
Ooh, Street Fighter the series
Yay.
will draw on the game's World Warrior story arc. It's from the Street Fighter II, the World Warrior sequel from the original game.
Cool.
It's going to follow Ryu, Ken, Guile, and Chun-Li, and they're taking down Bison.
Hey.
Apparently this one's going to be drawn from the Machinima one that they brought beforehand.
Yeah, there
Okay.
was like a TV. No, it was like they were doing shorts. Remember? I remember them
it's-
showing up
it's
on
from a
YouTube.
Machinima
It's
series.
a Machinima series.
So
Okay, yeah.
They first premiered it on Machinima. It was a contractual thing that they did. Really great short stories. It was super cool, and I'm really happy to see this like move forward.
It says the team behind the live-action web series Street Fighter: Assassin's Fist, set to executive produce E1, will handle international sales on the project. So we've seen there was a very old Street Fighter film, 80s.
Oh my God.
Is
Really?
that right? Street Fighter, the original film.
Oh, the very first one would have been very early 90s.
Yeah, it's
Early
like 91,
90s, okay.
Because like
Legend of
yeah,
Chun-Li.
Because when like Fighting Street came out, that was 87 or 88.
Fighting
So
Street.
good.
That was the original, and if you never saw that, they had pressure-sensitive buttons, like buttons like this big, because you use the handle with one, and you bang those fucking buttons.
This
Like,
is
and
some-
the harder you banged it, the harder they threw the punch of the kick.
So good.
Oh,
This
wow.
is some great
So many
nerdery
machines that
right
just
now.
break.
Oh
So
yeah,
bad.
which meant that they constantly had to replace them. It was expensive as shit, but yeah, you got to punch the
If
shit
you
out
were a
of the
tough
button.
guy, that's the thing you did.
Well, to be able to do it properly, you had to have a hand as big as Honda's there in that picture.
Yeah.
What is up with that
Down.
hand? Yeah, look at this fucking hand. Look at Dalsim. Why do both of them have such massive, outlandishly
Just-
huge hands?
That's just, I mean,
You know, I feel like you got a lot of that going on,
The
though.
scale is
right?
Big,
off.
big hands there.
Yeah, big hands, big arms.
powerfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dawson fits the
Dalsim's
big
kind of
hand.
like a stretchy thing, you know.
It's all about perspective here. I think that's
Yeah.
what's going on.
So,
Are we excited about a Street Fighter TV show?
I
Yes.
completely am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to see a good adaptation of a fighting game
Sure.
that is had no like. There's in-depth story, but they know they can play with it.
There isn't a lot with at least original Street Fighter. There isn't a huge story. I don't even know
There
if there
isn't.
is. It's not like Mortal Kombat where
Yeah, it's all about
yeah.
a
There's so much
competition.
lore behind it now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
You're
mean, they're
right
all
there.
competition
Yeah.
based.
It's
Yeah.
Great. I
And
have
the-
no idea what you're talking about.
The most recent offering of Street Fighter was so disappointing, unfortunately. Because it's all been better stuff. I like the introduction of new characters.
Yeah.
Did I touch a sore spot or anything?
Yeah, our producers very big in the
Very
fighting game
disappointed.
community and disappointed.
It was, the first time I ever got into really fighting games
Yeah.
was the first year I went to Evo.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was really fun.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
We went 2010, right before they got like extra ridiculously big. It was like the interim like super bigness in Vegas.
10 out of 10 would go.
Oh, 100% go. There's a bunch of nerds fighting in a giant freaking hotel, and on every floor there's a party.
Sounds like
Great
fun.
rating
Sounds
system.
hot.
Use it for everything.
Yeah,
The 10 system. You created that?
yeah. There's some nerds who will actually fight. And it's
Oh, God.
beautiful.
My dad invented Pop Tarts.
Her dad invented
Oh, my
Pop Tarts
God.
and you invented the 10 out of 10 system.
I actually so you guys may or may not know, probably dead giveaway by looking at me, that I'm not a video game person
No.
at all. But I really enjoyed playing Street Fighter when I was younger, and and Dylan has a video of me that's in a very portraying me in a terrible light where when I concentrate, when I really focus, I do like Jabba the Hutt tongue.
Yeah, let's get that camera.
Just
I really do that during
She's
this
concentrating
game.
her like tongue waggles. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it'll be cool to like nostalgia factor for me.
Yeah. What's going on with Lord of the Rings, Jess?
So there is going to be an Amazon show.
TV series.
And it is. I guess it was acquired for $500,000, right? Quarter billion. Quarter billion. Holy
That's
shit.
250 million.
And that's how much.
That's just for the.
too many millions.
Yeah, 250 million. That was just for the rights.
Yep.
No, that's too much.
Yeah, and this was like a a month
too much.
ago. So the most recent story here is.
Well, it says that it has. Let's see. It's going to be a prequel, right? It's going to be a prequel.
The most recent story is that Amazon is potentially making the most expensive show in history. It's going to be another $250 million just for production.
Oh,
my
man,
God.
if they make anything back, they'll have a $1,000,000,000.
Right.
What's
I will leave.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
$15 million per episode. $15 million per episode.
That was what Game of Thrones.
But, like,
that was Game of Thrones budget for its 8th season.
Oh, okay.
But if they can make,
so it's
if they
comparing it
can
to
work
that.
this work, if they can make that work, that could be beautiful.
Especially with some of the stories they've glazed over inside. of
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, the
they haven't gotten
Silmarillion
into
has a
more
lot of
documents,
stuff that
And
you
this is
can
like
flesh out.
The terrible Bombadil stories would be great.
Oh, shit.
Oh
Tom
yeah,
Bombadil
just one
died.
episode where we just follow Tom Bombadil, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is
What does he
this
do?
shit?
You know,
I fucking lost my brain. I
What
don't know
is this
what's going on.
random fucking story in the middle of my goddamn TV show?"
you'd probably want to leave all the dialogue out of it. Holy shit.
Like the paragraphs of description.
It would just be one of those things where it's just like he meets the Ents, and after like 30 seconds of them talking to each other, as
It's
they
been
were
years.
written,
It's
you
been
just
years.
stab yourself.
Yeah.
That's
You're like, great. So it's the end of the episode. They've gone through one conversation.
I'm out.
I'm out. They've said 6 words. I've been here 45 minutes.
It's all interjections and singing.
He said hi. That's what he said. Is hi.
Yeah, because I
Please
remember
don't translate.
in the old Battle for Middle Earth, like RTS games that they had, it was just like, you drop Tom Bombadil into that world, and he's like Darth Vader, where he can conquer that.
But there's
shit by himself.
there are some worthwhile stories in that, so that might be interesting.
There's a lot of. I'm really excited to see the wizards, like the original, how they interacted. It's just like that'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And
Just the first two headlines.
I'm only playfully shitting on this,
you can
just
say that.
because there's a lot of potential for storytelling.
it'll
all
steal
of
my
this.
heart.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a deep and rich backstory, and it's something that I think everybody could have a lot of fun doing. They could have a lot of fun making it. We will have a lot of fun watching it and talking about it.
Yeah, Amazon talked about this for a while, that they wanted something to compete with Game of Thrones. And by for a while, it was honestly been within the last 6 months. I did not think
they
that
announced
that's
that.
what they were going to do. I did not think they were going to
they've been in
buy
talks for, like,
Lord of the Rings.
They've been in talks for I think good 2 years now.
But that's why we don't believe it's happening.
Yeah.
Because they've been in talks for
Yeah.
forever.
The same thing with
Rumors,
the
hearsay,
Wheel of
conjecture.
Time. The Wheel of Time has been in talks for I don't know how long now, and MTV
Wheel
made
of
that shitty
Time.
pilot, and it was just one episode.
I always thought that would have been better served as like an animated series. Or something,
because there's too much magical in comparison to what's going on inside there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. And it was just, well, I mean, we live in that era now where they could
acceptable.
CGI the shit out of this thing and actually make it, to be able to find the one power and the true power and all that.
should also do that.
Just be able to, and that actually could make for interesting visuals, since we've never really gotten to see what that sort of thing looks like. But it's an interesting one. And Robert Jordan, created a vast panoply of characters in this world.
I'm interested. I don't know. I'm interested to know how much Peter Jackson spent for the films and how that compares to what Amazon is spending for the TV series. Because are we going to see? Are we going to see that quality, that caliber of Lord of the Rings? Possibly better.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
now they
there's
have
a lot
time
of
to
money.
improve.
Yeah, because there's a lot of money that went into this, and a lot of it was CGI. You know, and with this, we have even more power to bear. That we can bring to bear for a new series, especially on television. It's like movies no longer have cornered the market on hot special effects. Yeah. You know, they've got really good stuff. They can do some epic things nowadays, and I am very interested. I mean, considering the fact that they dropped $25 million to get rid of Superman's mustache, you know,
I work for it. Yeah.
That was a great story. Just some guy removed it,
and then someone else brought it back in, and it looked better than when they took it out. I'm just like, why? How is this?
You know what they should have just done? They should have just Cesar Romero that shit and just painted flesh over it. Just give him big rubbery stupid lip instead of.
That's just the one. I know that's why I'm like,
that'd be worth watching. I'd be like, I'd watch the movie just for that.
Yeah.
Just for that, because that's so fucking ridiculous.
So yeah, Eve saw that it 93 million for Fellowship of the Ring. So if we multiply that by 3, it's not too unlike.
All three of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings films cost $281 million before advertising.
That's for 3 films, and now we got that money for a TV series. It's about the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 really long films, also.
Yeah.
And like incredibly epic scaled.
I still marathon the whole entire series once a year. Once a year, I will literally just marathon through all of them.
Yeah.
I can't. You are
15 years on advancement in technology now.
Yes.
Stamina.
Yeah. Who needs sleep? Who needs sleep?
All right, what's up next, Mr. Digi Producer?
Oh, cool.
Okay, so here's some fun stuff. I've got things that we've planned and then one that we didn't that I'm going to throw right on it.
We're looking at that top left thing up there. It's Ockjaw, but it's Netflix related.
Yeah, it's Netflix related with the cute butt pig. Which is what I'm going to call it forever. I'm never going to watch it because it's designed to make me cry. His nose looks like a little butt.
Yep.
It's real cute. Anyway, Netflix is banned from competing at the Cannes Film Festival. So that's something that's happening, and that Steven Spielberg doesn't think that Netflix movies deserve Oscars.
Yes.
We're gonna table that for a second and come back because this is the third thing that comes up if you just Google the word Netflix. Wild Wild Country is the sex cult documentary you didn't know Netflix needed.
You guys didn't know that, did you?
What?
No.
I didn't know Netflix needed
I can repeat that if you need to.
I'm sorry,
one more time for us.
Yes.
Wild Wild Country is the sex cult documentary you didn't know Netflix needed.
Wow.
Well, I'm watching it now. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So we're gonna go back to talking about that they've been banned from the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes, so they were at Cannes Film Festival last year. They went with Ockjaw and the Meyerowitz Stories. I did not hear about that one.
The Meyerowitz Stories
They entered last year's Cannes to widespread protest from French filmmakers.
Of course.
And Cannes mentioned that they think that they made a mistake. They brought them in with the intention of, you guys were going to start releasing films the way they should be released, or the way we believe they should be released. And that did not happen.
Of course it shouldn't be. The biggest thing about Netflix is that they have such a wide market, and now they don't have to go
They can just
to
release
any
directly
theater.
to us. Why not? I don't have a problem with this.
Yeah, no, this is, unfortunately, it's one of those things where you got to be like, it's fucking 2018 con.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way that our media is going right now.
Oh, damn right. It's
though.
French. I shouldn't have been pronouncing the S.
Can.
Sorry.
Gone.
But here's the
Gone
big
there.
thing, too.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
The worst thing about this is the fact that this is the worst fear that most companies had when they first started making films, is that you would have a monopoly if you went to one singular place, and now this is how it works.
Right.
You couldn't go to any website and watch any type of content.
Well, it was
So
like
theaters don't have the same value as they used to in the old days.
Well, and they thought that VHS was going to be the death of the industry as well.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, no. It's
And
not
then
always
again with
is.
DVD,
They thought print
and,
was
like-
going to be the death. I mean,
Well, to be fair, last year's, I think, end of year, I don't know if it was just like the last half of the year or if it was the entire year's budget, but theaters hadn't. Oh, it was last summer. Theaters hadn't done this bad in the box office for like 10 years or something like that.
No, it was worse than that. It was like 20 years.
or something? Yeah, it was a long time.
It was really
so
bad.
there was some, but also Black Panther, highest grossing superhero film
I was
of
like,
all
I'm sure
time.
that just fucked up your
And
statistic
I
real
don't know.
hard.
Also, MoviePass came out, which is like the best deal ever.
Yeah, that's a really great way of going to go see the
Thanks
films.
for sharing the link last
Oh yeah,
time. That
yeah,
was
yeah.
awesome.
Did you get it yet?
Yeah.
It's an
No?
amazing it's an amazing deal, and like I feel like that really
It's gonna be
convinced a
big
lot of
change.
people.
It's gonna be a big change in how people see film. And like, the worst thing about that is it's really hard to consider what the importance of a film in a theater is now. What is that experience to us?
Yeah.
Because now you have to have that value out in comparison to what they used to offer.
Yeah.
Well, here's like kind of an interesting comparison. We have Amazon and Netflix, which are making a lot of stuff. Hulu, they haven't gone into the film industry yet, but they are television. They have done some TV.
Some series,
and then iTunes is going to start picking up stuff soon. They're starting to invest money. And so Amazon is releasing things in theaters, or are releasing things in theaters.
Would this be a salient moment to point out the fact that it was like Disney is making its own app, where it's going to have all the Marvel shit as exclusives on that now, too?
Yep, and Star Wars.
So wither the fucking Netflix controversy here.
Yeah.
I don't really get that. If you're only going to be able to get one particular thing on one thing, because it was like they have that and they have the CBS Now app. If you want to be able to watch Star Trek, it's just I don't get it, and this seems like a whole bunch of nothing. You know,
it is. Well, this falls into the big conversation we're going to have, regardless, when it comes to net neutrality in the future, because it's already a big thing now, and down the line, it's only going to affect it more.
Similarly, Spielberg said, "quote Once you commit to a television format, your TV movie." You certainly, if it's a good show, deserve an Emmy, but not an Oscar. I don't believe films that are just given token qualifications in a couple of theaters for less than a week should qualify for the Academy Award nomination. I don't know if he is saying this in response to if he's saying this in response to the fact that we're all sitting at home now and watching movies, and that we're not supporting theaters, we're not supporting cinema in that sense. I'm not entirely sure what he's getting at, right? Like
it makes no sense.
I don't think it has anything to do with that.
What do you think it has to?
It sounds.
Why
like
is he mad?
It sounds like his issue is that he feels like they're bypassing, in a way.
It's that straight to home.
It's straight to a lot of viewers.
Why is that a problem?
Going to give them a leg up over other films that are not released in that way, that are like directly to Netflix.
The thing is, they go to Netflix though. Generally,
to find someone to filter through though. That's the reason why.
What doesn't go to Netflix though? You know.
I mean, a fair amount of things.
Except for like
or Hulu or Amazon. It doesn't matter.
Streaming apps or that aren't VOD, because you see a lot of times they drop those movies on VOD same day that they
because I'm not sure what the connection between being in a theater and being worthy of an Oscar is.
Right, that's the question.
It's a traditional thing.
You heard it here first, everybody. Steven Spielberg hates millennials.
There we go.
There you go. Quote that.
It's a tradition thing.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Right now,
Steven
it makes
Spielberg
no sense.
hates millennials. Well, fuck you too, Steven Spielberg.
Fuck you, Spielberg.
Yeah, I still love Spielberg, but you know what? Okja was really good, so.
Yeah, he's getting too old. At this point, I think he's very much forgotten the fact that, yes, you may be making major films and putting them to theaters.
Right.
But the theater market is no longer what it used to be, and no longer does it need to be.
No,
and sometimes the best, the way that you get good stuff made is not.
Yeah,
that
this is like it's killing indie cinema at the same time, because indie films don't make it to theaters a majority of the time.
Yeah.
So where do we go?
That's it. And it's just the fact that the technology and the vectors are ever evolving. This is just something that was just like you got to be able to catch up with it. But the thing is, even if you are a visionary filmmaker, there are always people who can help you stay with the times and stay current with everything. And it was just like you can't abandon you can't abandon the medium for want of being able to do it your old way.
Yep.
So can and Spielberg catch up with the times? Is that what we're saying? Is that the
Yeah. For the most part, I mean, it's not, none of us are indicting the works of Steven Spielberg. It's just the fact that his will.
Ready Player One later. Yeah, we are talking about Ready Player One soon.
I said yeah.
The post was really good, guys.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Just saying.
In other news, Deadwood coming to a theater near you. The former Deadwood star Timothy Oliphant talked Thursday about HBO's long-gestating revival. Do you want to take a shot at that quote at the top there?
Okay, let's see what we've got here. Assuming that we could get all the actors back together, I think this is something we would do possibly next fall 2018. Who's Blois?
I don't know.
Told Deadline at the January TCA. Yeah. Talks with the cast are currently underway, focusing on their availability. Milch has penned a script for the film.
Yeah, so if you are a Deadwood fan, it is coming, but there's been talks about it being very difficult to get this cast together. Get them in one room.
Because they're all, like, really big now. I think they're all, like, super...
One of my favorite things to hear about is the fact that basically they modernized the palaver in Deadwood, where everybody was fuckity fuck, because apparently back then they literally were all rootin' tootin'. And it was just
so good.
That's great to see. It was like blam. It was like rootin' toot.
Oh my God, we should bring that back. Can we bring that back?
What, rootin' tootin'?
Let's just, we're going to decide right now, right here, make a pact with all of us right now that
Blood
we're bringing
pact?
back rootin' tootin'.
Rootin' tootin'.
I actually still know some types of friends who still
As a
sound like
curse.
that.
We all got.
Well, bring them here and have them teach us all how they speak. Where are you, Texas friends who still speak like this? I would like to go live where you are.
I feel as
they're
though
the most
they
innocent guys on the
exist
planet too. It's really
in
funny.
the South
Yes.
quite a bit.
They're the people who
What's
like
that?
pull over for you.
I said I feel like they
They're like,
exist
do you need a ride?
a lot in the
I
South.
would say so.
Come home with me. I'll feed you dinner. It's fine.
Meet the family. You'll be all right.
I am.
That was a good dinner. That was a rootin' tootin' dinner.
Exactly.
Is that how you want it to be used?
Yes.
Okay, we can do that.
For
we can bring it back.
everything.
Here on Screen Source, we now have a tagline. It's
rootin' tootin'. Oh no.
It's rootin' tootin' for Color Circuit.
In other news, Zach Braff, his new show dropped this week. It was called, Rootin' Tootin'.
No, let's hope not.
2.0. That's what it's called.
What's that called? Alexa Inc. ABC. I think he's directing it. Alex Inc. Sorry.
I was about to say, isn't Alexa?
Alec, A-L-E-C. Yeah, I'm thinking of my Amazon thing I got at home.
Yeah,
Jessica, you want to take a stab at that quote that he said recently?
Sure. He said, "I can't tell you because it's part of my pitch, but I told him this whole pitch over dinner, and he laughed a lot and said, 'We'll see, we'll see. I think it would be fun to do a 2-hour Scrubs movie. I would totally do that.'"
All right. So in a recent interview, Zach was talking about his pitch to his old director of Scrubs, and he wants a 2-hour film for this. I am a huge Scrubs fan. This show is
Bring
fantastic.
me that Turk.
Bring me that Turk. Yes. Yeah. So
Every
you're
day,
you're
all
friends
day.
with this guy now?
I am not friends
with everyone.
Sidebar here about the story in which a friend of mine and I encountered Donald Faison back in January here. We happened to be going to the Hotel Andaluz and went upstairs, and one of her friends happened to be working the bar. And it was just like, oh, hey, by the way, there are a couple of celebrities in the lounge. And we were like,
from that corner over there.
So
over there. Yeah.
We went and hung out at a table nearby while we were talking, and she produced a cigarette to go outside. And almost like doing that kind of beep, like right next to us, Donald Faison was like, eh? And she was like, yeah, sure, and gave him a cigarette. And we went outside and talked to Donald Faison.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if this is like outing Donald Faison as a smoker.
So what? Yeah, no, I would just go up to him and be like, most of the feminine pronouns do have meaning, but not necessarily misogynistic undertones.
Also,
and then high five him and disappear.
He was also like wearing a sweatsuit that was just stretched out. Like he is just.
Is he really jacked?
Huge. Yeah.
1510 would do.
Yeah.
Zach Braff, right?
Just looked like he was about to tear out of his clothes, like at any moment.
Zach Braff can't handle me.
Oh!
We went outside and we sat there and we talked to him. And the most hilarious part of this is that he treated us as though we were like new acquaintances who might not know who he was.
That's very nice
precious.
of him. Yeah, that's very nice.
There's nothing wrong with this. That is just so awesome because he was just like, hi, I'm Donald. I'm an actor, and like on the inside, I'm like, you're Turk, and I kind of want to hug you right now. You know, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you know, over here, chocolate. Yeah.
Chocolate bear, chocolate
bear.
bear.
Like about living in Los Angeles, and just that I was living in Mar Vista, and he was living in Laurel Canyon, just because it was close to where he was working. And then he was like, so basically, I was near this place I worked. I worked on this TV show called Scrubs.
No shit.
My friend immediately went, I'm sorry, you worked on a show called what now? And he was like, immediately he deflated. And he was like, it was this show called Scrubs, and it was on, and she was like, never heard of it.
You did not let him walk away with that, did you?
Hang on.
Okay. All right.
And she was like, never heard of it. You say that you're an actor? And he took a second, and then he realized she was fucking with him, and he just went,
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh my dear, that takes some fucking grit to fuck with Donald Faison about his money.
Here's
face.
the thing, though. He
Like,
just
that
seems
was-
so nice, though.
I know. I would
that-
feel bad halfway
yeah.
through. I'd be
Well,
like,
and
never mind. I'm sorry.
So we started talking
know
about.
you
I know you are. I want you. I need you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. He was so sweet. And then we started talking about just the fact that Justin Long was there, and so we the topic turned to karaoke, which is one of my passions in life. And I was like, yeah, I've done, and now it's a stupid, tiny, tangential name drop for this, and it was like, yeah, I've done karaoke with Justin Long, and he had this, really. It was like, yeah, there was this movie that came out, like he did this movie called 10 Years with Rosario Dawson, and I did karaoke with them at Maloney's that was there before because he complimented me on my singing. And then I got to see what he sang, and he was like, oh yeah, and I was like, yeah, he sang Two Princes by the Spin Doctors, and immediately Donald Faison was like, oh, that's dude's song, come on in, I'll introduce you. And so we ended up going in, and it was a very
That sounds like a
wonderful
good
evening.
night. Yes,
Really
yes,
was.
yes.
And
Shit.
Justin Long, Donald Faison, I have nothing but good to say about them. I'm Johnny fucking nobody in comparison to those guys, but they are so fucking cool. They
Fernando,
really are.
you're my Donald Faison.
Yeah, holy shit.
So, do you want to see this movie by saying all of those things? Yeah, you
Oh,
do
yeah.
want to see. You do want to see a Scrubs movie?
Yeah, I'll see it.
Yeah. Okay.
In
All right.
in so many words, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they
that's-
all went on to do kind of really cool
Amazing.
things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I love these people.
Yes.
What's this next one here?
This next
funny.
one, new film called True American, starring Amy Adams. If you want to take who's the co-starring? Just that top line there, Bon.
Oh, okay. Who's this here? Jackie Helmer, Pablo Lorraine is on board to direct.
Okay.
Mark Ruffalo and Kumail Nanjiani.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Nanjiani. Never say his name
Yay.
right. It's
Come on.
terrible.
Yeah, Kumail is going to be picked up by everybody now.
Yeah.
That he wrote that script
Ooh.
and
Okay.
did everything in that movie. He's fantastic.
I love him.
He's a funny guy.
So
his
this
movie
movie's
is so close to mine. This is my
so
life.
close to your life.
So close to my life.
Yeah, The Big Sick we're talking about. But anyways, Amy Adams in talks to be picked up by this. It's a movie about like kind of post 9/11, I guess. It's based off of a book. It's the one article of news that I was like, you know what? We need to talk about something that like isn't a reboot. You know, there's so I mean, it's based
Everything
off of a book,
else is a
so
reboot.
yeah, there's a little bit of rebooting there, but it's like it's so tough to find any news anymore
It's very
of
new.
original things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I honestly I just want to see Kumail Nanjiani in everything. I'm a huge fan of his podcast.
Mark Ruffalo is an amazing man.
Yes.
And I love him so much. He's just so dreamy.
I want a career like his.
Yeah.
He also is one of those guys who
Mark
has like
Ruffalo is great.
What was it? Stridex commercials he was in when he
Oh,
was
yeah.
younger. Yeah, where he
Oh
was
my
just
gosh,
like curly
yeah.
haired, like
That
teen
was
Mark
him?
Ruffalo.
Super
Yes.
Oh
nerdy.
my
It's so
God.
cool.
So
And
I
he was-
think-
he was just he was like young pretty too. And it
Like
was
I
just
love Mark Ruffalo, but I think his banner is my favorite.
Yeah, and he stayed
He's ever
so
done.
like so accessibly good looking. It was just like I want-
Yes,
Accessibly.
that's
he's not like
true.
threateningly where it'd be like, oh shit, because like Channing Tatum and
Yeah, or
Chris
like
Pine
Brad
were at this
Pitt
karaoke
or, like,
thing, and
whatever.
everybody was like, oh, you know, and it was
Like
just
you're too pretty, I can't talk to
and
you.
it was like if it's
hard.
Mark Ruffalo, he seems like the sort of dude where it was like, you are a thoroughly fucking handsome man, sir. Could I have a beer with you? And you wouldn't feel like a scrub, or like
Right.
he
Yeah.
was laugh at you, right?
Yeah.
So-
Scrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo, you're rooting too.
He-
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to toot my own horn, but he looks like my ex, like quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well
now
done.
she's got this. What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Quick
Yeah.
side note.
Aiming
Manuel
down.
Miranda.
Loved 10 Years, and I missed that whole entire cast. They were filming at like UNM, and I literally only got to see passing glances of them. I was like, I want to be in this movie. now. What's going
I
on?
would like to point out that I got to see, like, basically from about as far away as I am from Dylan, I got to watch, what's her name? Who was I just saying? Actress. that was on there.
Not Amy Adams.
No.
No.
It was Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson,
I got
yes.
to see Rosario Dawson singing karaoke.
That's cool.
And she was so good, and she was so lovely and pretty, and it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I kind of belong under a bridge right now.
I think we all just need to start-
Yeah, so I will just keep my respectful distance because you are.
Oh, I love Rosario
ethereal.
Dawson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend that worked
always had a
with
thing for
her
her.
recently. He said she was great. Yeah, I think the like moral of the story is we all need to start hanging out at karaoke bars more. Is that what it is? Is that how you?
No.
Color
No,
Circuit
that's
goes to
not-
karaoke.
No.
We're at Hotel
Colors- we'll do a new
Honors,
show.
apparently.
No.
Color stick
Yeah.
that karaoke. It's fine.
allowed to sing badly from the heart.
We'll
That's
sing badly
right.
from the
We
heart.
could try to sing
That's
badly.
the
Go to the
only
next
way
slide.
to do
It
it.
just sound amazing.
No, we're just
It's
gonna
next
kill
slide.
that.
Yeah.
We
I'm
cannot
not.
sound
I'm
good.
staunch
Then
on
it
my
gets to be like
refusal.
our showcase.
Just a little bit.
We're not doing. I'm not. I will go with you, but I will not sing.
I got friends.
I'm with you. Actually, I won't.
But you have a beautiful
You
voice.
can try, but it's not gonna. How do you know?
Because we heard you sing at our party, remember?
That's true.
shit.
You sang it. Actually,
Secret tab.
yeah.
We
No,
tried
I
a
don't.
float party the other day. It was fun.
What's up next,
Group
Mr.
BFW.
Digi? Coming soon now with Post Tomatoes, which always comes before.
Green
Pre-tomatoes.
Okay. We
Pre.
gotta have the crew.
Sorry, I didn't.
Pre.
I dropped the ball.
We'll catch
go
it.
again.
Well,
Go
okay.
again.
Coming soon now with Post Tomatoes, which always comes before.
Pre-tomatoes.
Thank you. That is basically that we talk about all the new film and television that's coming out. We give them what we believe the Rotten Tomatoes score is going to be, and then we take a look at it. So last week, Unsane came out, Pacific Rim Uprising, and Isle of Dogs. Isle of Dogs, unfortunately, is
Not
a
released
limited,
here.
limited
Yet.
release. It didn't come here. We're pretty upset about it. Wide release, I believe, 2 weeks from now. So
Yes.
make sure you go watch it.
Because Albuquerque is fun like that sometimes.
Yeah, fantastic.
Our weekly
Ooh.
giant town. Yes.
We thought Unsane was going to get a 70%, and the real score was.
One day.
You don't know.
I believe in it.
Oh.
Oh, so sad.
Oh.
Oh, it's
Oh,
there.
God.
It's just
Oh
hidden.
God.
It's hidden.
Oh no.
Oh crap.
79.
79.
Wow. Look
We
at
were
that.
pretty close,
Holy
guys.
shit.
That's pretty good.
We were really wrong.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim Uprising, we thought was going to be 80, and it came out to a 47.
Wait.
Yikes.
Trash.
Wow.
These are all
Yikes.
as of Friday night.
I was
It's-
gonna
it's-
say, like, I was quite surprised by that.
This is
I haven't seen it yet.
clearly
I
a
have
Guillermo
problems
del
with it.
Toro, like out of like in a very different light
I
than the
will
rest
tell
of his
you- yeah,
movies.
I will tell you 100% why he hates this film in comparison is because literally this goes against anything that he was doing in the first film. Where the
Okay.
first one was an homage,
Yeah.
the second one is literally just made to sell toys.
So it's Transformers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's Transformers.
Yeah,
'cause
okay.
Transformers.
Screw that.
Transformers
I'm okay with
effect.
that. That's
Yeah.
what I thought it was about.
Yeah.
And lastly, Isle of Dogs, the newest Wes Anderson film, we thought was going to be 93, and it came out to be.
No
93.
fucking way.
We did it,
Oh!
guys.
Oh, my God.
May I make a quick joke about this here for Guillermo? What is it? I'm sorry.
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
del Toro. Just that a friend of mine posted a picture of one of those shooting dummies that just said ballistic gel torso. And they were
Yes.
like,
Oh, I
off the
saw
shape of
that.
water.
Yeah. Ballistic Gel Torso is Guillermo del Toro's brother.
It's also they used that for Benedict Cumberbatch too.
Oh, well, Benedict Cumberbatch has a million
Yeah.
Yes.
blunderbuss. Wimbledon
Yes.
tennis match is my
Oh, my
favorite.
God.
Best actor ever.
Have
Oh.
you guys
Good one.
have you guys been on that website?
There's a website where it's called
the best.
it's called Benedict Cumberbatch name generators,
Yep.
and it just
It
goes.
doesn't stop.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
I have been
and
on.
It's a
it.
very
I don't
good.
remember what
and
mine
every
was.
single one is good. So
Anyways, guys, this wasn't. I mean, Pacific Rim Uprising. I'm very surprised that we all decided on 80.
Yeah, you guys thought really highly of it.
To
I'd
be
be
Yeah.
fair,
fair, I thought Unsane was going to be even lower. Like,
Yeah.
much
Yeah, it's
higher.
doing really
Honestly-
well.
Like, good. I was wrong, and I'm totally okay with
That Unsane was shot entirely on the iPhone 7.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that crazy?
On-
Yeah.
Yeah, on a
Wow,
phone.
That's very impressive.
Super
And
impressive.
That sounds like a hell of a commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
I mean,
I mean, I've
yeah.
definitely done that before. Not on the 7, but I've
Shot a
shot
movie?
films. Yeah, on.
Is that mine?
It's mine. My brother's calling me. Obviously,
God
he doesn't
damn
know
it.
that I'm doing a show.
What's coming out
Stop
next week?
calling me.
Did you? Coming soon now with Pre-Tomatoes, which always comes after.
Post
Red
tomatoes.
Damn it, Bond. You're not allowed on anymore. Thanks for being on.
I wasn't aware
I
that this was a
tried
bit.
so
Okay.
hard.
I am.
We'll catch on. You know what? Like, even the last full cast did not catch on after. We're on episode, what's today? Episode 25?
You guys are the wrong
25.
person.
25, yes. So.
Technically, it's 26, but whatever.
But
Semantics,
whatever.
I guess.
Semantics. So next week we got Silicon Valley Season 5, I believe. Ready Player One, somebody's new film. And Happy Anniversary, new film by Jared Stern, starring Noel Wells and Ben Schwartz, a new Netflix original. Jared Stern did, what did I say, guys? Oh, Wreck-It Ralph.
Yep.
Yes. And so,
Putting your hands on a table.
sorry. I know I keep smacking the table,
He's
and
a
I know you could
very
hear it.
expressive.
That's true.
Expressive
Expressive.
with his hands.
Yes,
you
I
know?
know,
It's
I
just
know.
like Very, yeah.
What is up with T.J. Miller's tiny face in that?
It's definitely. I mean, they all have tiny faces if you look close enough.
I was like, dude, in the middle, he has like a face
Smart.
that fits, like it looks like
Very long. Oh, speaking of Kumail Nanjiani, there he is. Silicon Valley. I'm a huge fan of this show. It is very well done.
What is going on with T.J. Miller, man?
T.J. Miller has been in a lot of trouble recently. Let's step back. T.J. Miller made a movie, the Emoji Movie, which I think did well overseas. Also, the first movie to release in Saudi Arabia in like years.
In a long time.
Crazy. Yeah.
I know.
Thank you.
That's like
Thanks,
the
Saudi
worst thing they could have chosen.
When that movie was announced that it was being
Poop
made,
emoji is what I say to that.
I think around the same time the Emoji Movie in Silicon Valley news was coming out. Emoji Movie's coming out. Also, T.J. Miller's no longer going to be on Silicon Valley. I think the most recent news was that T.J. Miller. I don't know if there was a problem working with him per se, but definitely there's been sexual allegations, sexual assault allegations
that are very well seem to be very well corroborated.
Yeah, this was back in his college days, and he went to like college court and all that.
Yeah.
And so he's on that list.
Kind of a d-bag.
Yeah.
Sorry, T.J. Miller.
Yeah.
And so now that this last season, I feel like it's the last season, right?
I hope not. I genuinely hope not, because this is a good show.
Okay.
Well, and I'm sure they could find another.
Oh, they could find someone to replace him.
Well,
totally.
Now the focus has shifted to the guy in the center, or shifted.
It has always been him.
He's the main.
It's about him. He owns Pied Piper. God, what's his name? This actor's name I can't remember.
I don't know, but he's really funny.
It's a great cast, great ensemble. The guy that made Beavis and Butthead, the guy that made Mike Judge. This is his show on HBO. Please watch it. I'm excited about it. It's coming back this week. Ready Player One comes out this Thursday. I guess people say Friday, but it's Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Thursday, 7 p.m.
And actually, usually it comes out at like 7 or 8. No.
Yeah. This is
it doesn't happen anymore.
The infamous poster of Ready Player One. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yes, with one giraffe leg.
One giraffe leg, yes.
Got so much fun.
Look how long that leg is.
No, I just realized.
Wow.
Yeah.
Turns out he's been Dawson.
Oh, that's amazing.
Have any of you read the book?
No.
Yes. Audiobook, regular book.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, it was like I bought the book first, then I listened during a road trip to the audiobook is read by Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Of course it's fucking...
It has to be Wheaton.
I'm sorry, President Will Wheaton.
President Will Wheaton. What do you think of it?
Immediately, like it was... like Willy Wonka for dorks.
Okay.
Like, and it was so meta self-referential that it was because my immediate impression upon reading the book, I was like, this is a love letter for people like me as a child of the 80s. Right. Yeah. And then it was like, and then I read it again and I was just like, I see all of the cracks in this. Yeah. And it was just, but the thing is,
so there was a facade over it.
Very, very much so. But to be completely fair, I understand where it came from, but but a lot of it was and then everybody clapped.
Okay.
You know?
Ernest Cline is very much one of those writers who falls in for those tropes. That's what he's there for. Because he really wants to do just a love letter to all the 80s games and all these things that he loved when he was a kid.
It just seems like a really big mess of a mishmash of things, though, in my opinion. It's like, what more can we throw in there? Everything. Just keep throwing more shit in there. It's like, it's too much.
Honestly, I would have thought that this would have been, frankly, impossible to make as a film, just because it did not seem like it was intended to be within the scope of something that could be made into a film.
He literally thought he wasn't getting any of this. Like, he's like, it'd be amazing if it was a film and everyone saw that it could be. And like the fact that Steven Spielberg was like, I'll put my name to it. Yeah. Everyone's like, fuck, can I work with Steven? Yeah, of course.
Watch me bring these properties.
Yeah.
Because regardless, like, despite the fact that I said that I may playfully be shitting on this later on, it's the fact that Ernest Cline and Steven Spielberg are still laughing themselves to sleep on a fucking giant pile of money every night anyway.
I'm watching it 3 times.
This could suck balls, and they're
it doesn't matter.
They're still going to make scads of cash.
Yep.
I want to see a Gundam
It's like Wrinkle
on the
in
big
Time.
screen.
Wrinkle in Time made...
I'm still stuck on the poster, y'all. How many people had to see that and okay it?
It got made.
The scale.
There's like a million
before they
memes
released
of this.
it. I'm sure there is, but that's what I mean. Like, how many people?
One of my favorites is Slender Man
had
is
to
on the
see
ladder.
this and went, that's fine.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
for us to get it, because it did take me a full like 10-15 seconds of looking at the poster and then being like,
something's wrong.
no, I didn't. You guys mentioned his leg, and I had to look at his leg, and I went, oh.
Oh my god.
He
Way
has
too
like
long.
a whole extra, femur there, but
The latest news on this that I remember was Steven Spielberg was the article titles were even Steven Spielberg couldn't get the rights to Star Wars for this film. Turns out, I think we are going to see Star Wars in this, or that's what people are saying. We will see those
They made the
references.
contract with it, yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical that this movie's going to do well, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest here. That in the future it's going to be Disney/Marvel presents the Oasis.
Sure,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Oasis.
I'm not okay with that. It's gonna
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
I-
there's
I-
so many characters in that universe, each one of us gets one.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I don't have high hopes for this, but whatever.
I
Yeah.
have very high hopes.
All right, so what we need to do is assign a Rotten Tomato score to each of these. So this is a group score for Silicon Valley. Let's start there. What do we think season 5 is going to get?
85.
85?
That sounds right.
I think this
I would
show
even
does
go a
well
little
with
lower,
critics.
like
You want to do
80.
80?
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of okay with 80. They're losing, a kind of a powerhouse of a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't make bad things, and the show has been doing well.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay, 80.
Mm-hmm.
So tomatoed.
Okay.
Ready Player One.
Oh.
I'm going to give
27.
it a.
Oh
No, come
shit,
on.
that is low.
42.
The reverse of that.
I'm gonna go
Okay,
50.
72?
Yeah.
50.
I go 70. So where do we
Okay,
meet in the middle with these
60.
guys?
63.
60. Is
63.
that the average? Did you average that in your head?
65.
60.
Look, I want to give it an 89, but
Okay.
I'm giving it a 70.
Okay, 65. How about that?
65.
For 70?
64.83.
No, I-
64.83.
64.83.
So tomatoed. And happy anniversary. We don't know a ton
I think we would've
about
done
this. Again, it has
decimal points.
Noelle Wells in it.
Scores.
I mean, I like her.
And Ben Schwartz,
Do
who
I
is
know-
also
How
awesome.
do I know
Yeah,
her?
I like him too.
What is she
She's
from?
She's one of those people that's like, I know you. I know you.
Yeah,
I've seen
as
you
we
a
all
lot,
pull up
and
the
I
phone right
can't
now.
remember in
Oh.
whatever.
All right, here's the
Well, I like Ben Schwartz. I think
the
he's
summary
funny.
for it. On their 3-year anniversary, Molly and Sam are at a crossroads and need to decide whether to move forward or call it quits. To be
Oh,
honest with
great.
you,
That's
this
real.
looks just like the cover for Love.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I was
Right?
thinking. I thought this
That's
was
a little
gonna be
too
like a
real.
continuation.
Love
know about
number
that.
2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was in Master of None. She
Oh.
did Mr.
Oh, okay.
Roosevelt. She was on Saturday Night Live. She did a movie called. She was in Dreamland. And Forever, which I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Ben Schwartz is very cute, and that's my 10 out of 10 for
yeah,
the day.
It's like, what's your rating?
And by that I mean I think that he could do this. I think he could pull off this, what it looks like a charming love
you know,
film.
he kind of reminds me of Paul Rust. Like he's the same nerdy, dorky-looking dude.
I actually think
who has a lot of charm. You know.
I'd say that he looked like last
Actually,
time.
honestly, I think Zach from Color Circuit looks like Ben Schwartz.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, kind of.
I
Yeah,
can see that from here. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Let's start getting him cast and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ben Schwartz.
Zach,
Yeah,
you
don't you
yeah.
know him?
Zach, 10 out of 10.
Anytime
Yeah.
that Schwartz drops a roll.
Yeah.
This guy's done Wreck-It Ralph. He's probably,
Wreck-It Ralph.
pretty good at
He's been around
yeah.
the block. I feel like this is
I
going to
don't
be good.
Hey, speaking of things that borrow from a lot of different sources,
48.
Oh God, I'm going to go higher than that.
68.
70.
I'll say 68.
68. Okay, 68.
I was thinking 65, a little bit lower.
All right.
68.
We're doing
67.
68. Oh,
67.
67.
So tomato.
So tomatoed.
You got outvoted, Bond. Sorry.
I accept
Yep.
this.
All right, and these are the other things that are coming out this week that we are not going to give scores to. I'm going to start at the right there. Roseanne.
Cool.
Season 10 or 11, one of those two.
Back in the old house.
Yeah,
Yep,
this is going to be
same
very
cast.
interesting. Yeah, this is the same exact cast.
Bring back
I
Sarah Chalk.
yes, I think so.
Hey,
She's
did
not on the
something after
poster.
Scrubs,
She's not on the
right?
poster.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
She did something extra because she went back.
I didn't really grow up watching Roseanne, but I
didn't either. Yeah, missed
I
that boat.
loved Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird, and so I think just because of that, I'm gonna probably try and give it a shot.
All right.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because the dynamic here now is that she is very This is like the replacement for a Tim the Toolman, like his last show, whatever it was.
Oh, for Home Improvement. Yeah, yeah.
No, there was another one after that.
Yeah, something like that. This is that replacement because in this, they're pulling very much that she's very Republican and her family's very not. So that's the kind of the spin they're taking with Roseanne.
Interesting.
Wait, who's very Republican?
Roseanne.
Oh, she's Republican.
In
yeah,
the show.
she is.
In the show.
Well, no, I think in
okay.
real life,
All right,
no.
Because I was gonna say no, she's
okay.
all the way on the other side.
Okay.
She literally ran for president. She
Wow.
was on 3 different ballot states.
Wow.
Yeah, she California, Colorado, and Florida.
That's amazing.
Wow.
All right. Well, I guess none of us are watching that show. None of us have anything to base it on.
I think
Yeah,
I might just
I'd
because of
watch.
Laurie Metcalf. Like that's all I need because I love her.
I grew up with Roseanne.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah.
this is-
So,
this
are
is
you
one of those
excited
shows
about the
where-
reboot?
It's really hit or miss because I felt like it's one of those shows that dragged on for like 2 or 3 seasons too long. So I'm really interested to see where
that's
it
where
goes.
it started going crazy.
Yeah.
I have her laugh stuck in my it's imprinted, embedded in my head from that intro
Yeah.
for the show.
It's pretty.
I can't.
unforgettable.
Yeah, it's unforgettable, really.
It's pretty
She and
cringeworthy.
Fran Drescher need to have a fight.
Yep. Oh my God.
gosh.
Who would win?
All of us would lose.
Yes.
The Terror, based on true events, AMC's new original series, 2018. The crew of a Royal Naval expedition searching for the Arctic's treacherous Northwest Passage discovers instead a monstrous predator. What does that mean, based on true events, and then this monstrous
We
predator?
find Cthulhu.
Guys, it sounds like it's a
So.
not Yeti. What is the ice one? Ice one is Yeti, right?
Ice one's
That-
Yeti.
This
Yeti.
could be fun.
Yeti. It sounds like it's Yeti.
Or Sasquatch.
Yep.
Or the Wendigo or something.
Yep.
Or
One of those.
All I see is that's the look of
Terror.
the meme when you flush the toilet and the water keeps going out.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's
That's
not
the
it's not
exact-
clear
that is
water
the
that
real
rises.
terror
It's
No,
right
it is
there.
not clear water.
That is the
That is
terror.
the-
That is
Just a series of
that is
that.
the exact expression.
The bilge tank just. Oh.
I feel as though we need to make that a meme now.
So this is just about it. So that picture is just a guy,
toilet.
the
Just to put the
toilet.
toilet there.
Scene 1, scene 2,
Yeah.
scene 3. There you
Wow.
go.
That is my literal nightmare, you guys. That is one of the scariest things to me. I hate
No,
going to the
but not
bathroom
just at your
anywhere
house.
else.
Yeah,
At
you're
someone
your
else's.
significant
No,
someone
yeah,
else's
in my
other's
own
house.
house, it's bad
Uh-huh.
enough where
Yeah,
I'm
and they
like,
happen to have their
you
parents over for the
motherfucker.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
anywhere else,
Yep.
that is my first
Yep.
and foremost
And-
thing. Like, I'm praying every
First day-
goddamn.
Oh,
You
Can I
gotta
just use your
chop up your
bathroom real
poo.
quick?
You gotta
And
cut
now
the
you
shit.
wanna
Okay,
poop.
gotta
I
cut
do
the
not.
shit.
I do not have this problem where
Mm.
I am going to clog. I just have an irrational fear that it will just.
Ah.
That
I
it
thought you
will
were telling us
just
you had
do
like big
that.
bowel movements or something.
No.
I don't
Takes
know,
monster
man.
shits.
It's a monster
I
shit.
had
shit.
I take
Hashtag-
normal shits. Thank
Normal
you.
shits.
I do not need a poop knife. Of course.
Isn't that the worst thing? I
Even
only
though
heard about
apparently
that
like a
month
quarter
ago.
of the
And
fucking
it's-
population
Yeah.
does. What are you eating?
Well, I mean, I have to just say, Dylan and I are vegan, and we go to the restroom quite a bit because
Yeah.
we. eat
I'm
a
not
ton of
talking about.
fiber.
I'm not talking about
It's
frequency.
She's talking
I'm
about
talking about
volume,
size.
size.
Oh.
Yeah.
This
This is
Whether you are like rabbit dropping.
It's a good
or,
size.
Like,
Yeah,
baguettes.
you
Yeah,
literally
we're rabbit droppings.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
No.
literally create
Yeah, that's
a
nice.
echelon cheese coney from like
If
Sonic.
you
from
No.
your
needed
ass.
to have a separate knife to specifically cut your poo so that
Yeah,
the
so that
toilet
it
will
flushes
flush it,
through.
what are you eating?
That
Yeah.
I think
There's
we all
something
heard about the
wrong
poop
with
knife
you.
From the same place too.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a stand-up comic or something?
It was like a Reddit thing that someone
Yeah.
posted,
Wow.
and then there were a whole bunch of people that were
Oh my
like, "Yes, I
God.
have this exact. That's why we have our poop knife in the
Wow.
bathroom."
Wow.
Yes,
That's actually
a
interesting
lot of
because
people
And now
apparently.
they're selling like ceramic poop knives online. I
Oh
just
my
saw
God.
that today, and I'm like, okay. Also,
The internet is a
stop
strange
I
and
have a-
wonderful
I have a
place.
quick
One-
story.
I just-
For a
this is
year and a
amazing.
half,
new
I've
world
been
has opened.
for a year and a half I've been doing this stand-up bit where it's actually just a story basically. My friend that worked at
Chuck E.
Chuck E. Cheese, she had to clean the bathrooms as part of her job and wear like the Mickey Mouse not the Mickey Mouse, the Chuck E. Cheese costume. Not at the same time, but those were two facets of her job. And she went into the bathroom once, and there was a log in there so big when she tried to flush it, it would not go down. So she tried to figure out, like, what do I do? So she grabbed a piece of cardboard, cut it in half, and it flushed. And so every time I see her now, I tell her, cut the shit.
Yeah.
And
I thought you were going to say a pizza cutter.
Oh,
That would have been good though at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
You know,
just throw it away.
Yeah.
the Terror.
That's my look on the inside.
Yeah.
The Terror has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes at the
Holy
moment.
shit.
It's only out of 10 critical reviews. So you know
I
what?
mean,
This actually might be
You
fun.
know what? It looks fun. I would give it a watch, especially if it's about Yeti. I love stuff about Yetis.
Yeah.
I just love psychological fucked up horrors.
Yeah,
Well,
the
when
thriller
they're
of
talking
it.
about
The
to
thrill
prove
of it.
something, I thought it was going to be some sort of like maritime monster.
That's
you
what I
know,
thought.
That's what
like
I'm
some sort of
thinking.
Kraken
But
But it
yeah.
says based on true
Ooh.
events, so I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
I
but then
feel
also
like
they
maybe
say that about.
maybe the true event is that they went down, and
Under
the
mysterious
based on part
circumstances.
is the monster.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it. Yeah.
That sounds right.
And Bill Hader's Barry, a new HBO original, a delusioned former Marine turned assassin reluctantly accepts a job in LA where he inadvertently discovers an interest in the performing
Really
arts.
good
I
commercial.
can't imagine him as a Marine.
I've met Marines who
You
were
know
like him.
Yeah, I've met.
I was about to
I've
say,
met
I
some-
could.
You know what?
Yeah.
We've had Josh on here before, and
He's
he's
an
a
ex-Marine?
relatively goofy human being
Yep.
who's a Marine.
Yep.
You know what though? He doesn't. He got the haircut of a Marine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
being a Marine does not.
And
preclude
what's his name?
goofiness.
The stand-up comedian William Wheeler. He was in
Oh
the
yeah.
Navy
Local
or the
stand up.
Marines.
Local
Yeah,
stand up.
And
Yes.
he's now a clown, like a professional clown.
Also, like, wasn't
Yeah.
Adam Driver in the
Yeah, he was a
Army or
Marine
something?
as
Was
well.
he a
Yep.
Marine? It was-
And he
Well, he
can
does
be goofy
like
as
he's
shit.
very goofy.
Yeah.
His films are very.
Okay, wait. Which one is the Marine called? Shit, I'm gonna say the wrong one.
Semper Fi.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Semper
that's
Fi?
what it is.
Semper Fi.
Rootin'
That's
Toot.
not Navy.
Rootin' Tootinist.
Semper
Rootin'
Rootin'
Toot.
Toot.
Who's Ura?
Hoorah is
Is,
the armed forces.
yeah,
the
Army.
Russell
Okay.
Army.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what else is coming out this
Sorry.
week.
As we
I
really
know
digress.
no more about that.
God, we digress
so-
a lot, guys.
Yeah, if
Sorry.
you're interested in
What are
some
tangents?
new
That's what
television,
makes for some of the best shows. I think.
Right?
So yeah, if you're interested in new television, make sure you tune into your HBO, AMC, or ABCs of the TVs. What else is coming up, Digi?
What are we watching?
What are you watching? So I'm gonna have you go ahead and say yours, and the rest of us have like our own
Oh, yeah, you guys
slide.
have slides. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was
We
invited,
added you
like-
in last minute.
I
Yeah.
was like, I don't. Yeah, I guess I watch stuff.
What'd you watch? You watched some anime?
Yeah, I've been in an anime kick. I watched the newest episode of Darling in the Franxx, the Ancient Magus Bride.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So some record of the Grand Crest War and Death March to Parallel World Rhapsody.
Of those, what would you recommend the most?
Well, I want to say the Ancient Magus Bride is one of the best.
Yeah. I never would have thought like magic-y like fantasy romance series would actually have been something as in-depth and cool as this turned out to be.
So it's a
They
TV
did
series.
a lot of research.
Anime series?
Okay,
anime
anime
series,
series.
yeah.
I got it.
And dude with the goat
Or it's
skull
it's got a lot of stuff going on to it.
Dude with a goat skull on his face.
Yeah.
No,
So
not a goat skull.
it
on
is
his face,
it is
a goat
Is
skull
it?
or a
It is
skull.
his face. Got it.
Yeah.
It's a really weird show. It has a very odd premise. This guy saves a slave girl from being a slave.
And I'm sure you can tell where this is going.
Well
No,
done.
you can't tell.
You
where
can't
this is
tell.
going.
And immediately after, he starts training her to become a witch and also his wife. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
exactly where I thought that was going to go, actually.
Which really fucked with me for a while. I was like, I don't know if I
Wow.
want to watch this because he's
Yeah.
like 900 years old and she's like 70.
Yeah. It seems incredibly shitty, but it goes in so many different ways.
And
but
it gets a lot. It's
Yeah.
very beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's not at all what you expect it to be. And the farther they get into it, it's a lot less. It's like, I'm going to marry you. That's like a thing where it's like, we just need something to hook something for
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah,
And then after that,
this was our hooky premise. And
Yeah.
it's just
Oh,
like, yeah.
okay, okay,
yeah. Then
okay.
after that, it becomes like you meet fantastical monsters, all these fantasy worlds. I do a lot of like European research, so
Okay.
it's a lot
Cool.
more.
Like the amount of critics I've
Yeah.
seen who were just like Ancient Magus Bride was like one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. I was just
What a
like,
great
holy
name.
shit.
Did they just throw that shit in like a name generator?
sounds
That's
like-
fucking
yeah.
Sounds like it,
wonderful.
yeah.
Just like
It's from Japan. Let's be honest.
I
They just-
know, but that's what I
like,
mean. Like
yeah.
half the stuff that I honestly think they just pick English words at random, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Go. It's like, oh, why did I never
It's
think of
the
this?
best thing. The
Yeah.
Japanese, man, they're great.
So the premise is built
awesome.
into the title. I just realized.
Oh,
Everything you just told me was already there. It was
The one
already there.
Japanese guy
The
here.
one actual
Yeah.
Japanese
No.
guy.
wait,
only-
Ancient Magus Corpse Bride? Ancient Magus Bride.
Corpse
Sorry,
Bride?
two
Yeah,
different-
I like where you were
two
going.
other different things.
Getting there, yeah.
Ancient Magus Bride. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Alright,
very
then what else do we
descriptive.
got?
Yeah, Jessica, what are you watching this week?
I watched,
you-
a lot of episodes of season 2 of Jessica Jones. I'm currently on episode 8 or 9, so I'm almost done. It is awesome. I like the first season. I liked it, but
No, Phil.
I like the second season a lot better. And
It's getting a lot of praise the second season.
yeah, and I've been pretty emotional during. Like I feel like there's a lot of flashbacks that like catch you up with kind of what happened, how she got to the point that she got to, and you see all the characters very vulnerable, and
She's so great.
so awesome. Yeah,
It's
she's
an
great.
amazing narrative. And,
So good.
Well, just because like I read Alias, Marvel Alias way back in the day, and I
Right.
loved that story. And again, while Kilgrave / the Purple Man did not get the same comeuppance as he did in season 1 of Jessica Jones, it was still just as compelling of a story.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe he's not dead. Like maybe he'll be back. I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows? She's
I mean, let's be
fucking
honest, that's
fantastic.
Yeah.
I love having just a hero who's sort of a hot mess. Makes me feel better about my life.
Yep. And she is.
Like
a
she's
hot
like, I
mess.
drink
Everything.
way too much. I'm
Yep.
really angry. I'm like, yes, girl.
Yep.
I feel
She
you.
just like has anger sex with like all the guys she.
Honestly,
know.
that was
Harry
kind of
Justice.
one of the things about season 1 where it was just like her and Luke Cage.
Yep.
Just, like,
Just
having-
destroying things with their sex. Yep.
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 yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Good people.
Because that's one of the things you gotta say. It was like that kind of explored that one thing that they never really got into with any of these superhero things.
Yeah.
Super folks gots to have. The
Oh yeah.
They-
I mean,
yeah.
because they can't do it with anybody else.
Yeah.
No.
You're
Yeah,
a
no-
superhero
yeah.
fucking another superhero.
I'm
Why would you have
literally
normal
going to
sex?
fuck you in half if we're not.
Yep.
Why would you have
The
normal
force
sex if
of
you're a
my
superhero?
cum.
Yeah.
And-
So, you gotta.
Wow, it's getting out of hand.
Yep.
Well, and
There's
the guy.
a whole that's an
there's
ancient
this
argument
Latin
about
guy
Superman.
in season 2 that I'm like,
whole,
his name is J.R. Ramirez. I've looked him up because he is.
Fire.
Anyway,
10 out of
Watch it.
10.
Yeah.
10-10 would do.
What are you watching
10
this
yeah,
week,
10,
Eve?
10.
So I've been watching a lot of Elevator. So
What
I
is
did
that?
not claim to have good taste. I would just like to preface.
Sure, sure.
What is this?
It is a reality TV show, you guys. So I am
Sci-fi, right?
deathly afraid. No, I
No,
am
what's it
deathly
on?
afraid of haunted houses.
No. I mean, what's it on? What?
Netflix.
Okay.
I don't fucking know. I don't even think there's another season. I think they canceled it. I think there's just the 2. Yes, my friend showed it to me. This is what I've been watching. You asked. I don't.
So is it about them going into
No.
haunted houses or
No.
what
It's
is it
on the
about?
Game Show Network. That's what I
Sure.
wanted to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It is not about that at all. It is the 2 people that you see in the picture there are the twins.
I thought they were the Bella twins.
Sylvia and Jen. They they run the Elevator. And it is a series of challenges that people get into the elevator and then have to do a series of challenges by themselves. Yes.
Okay.
Real spooky challenges. So like when they get out of the elevator, immediately it's follow the light, have fun, and you're just wandering through this warehouse and there's lots of noises, and they do have actors that'll come by and get really up in your face and walk
I
or
would punch someone.
scream,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're very careful
Okay.
about that, and
Yeah.
they also, you can tell the people that they choose, because I was like, they never would choose like me and Eleanor and Emily,
yeah.
and like no, because we would just be like, nope,
No, this is entirely.
I'm
I'm
outta here.
noping out of all of this and punching you in the face.
There's like I think we discussed before. There's a reason why I never go inside of anything
Yeah.
scary. I punch things when I
Yeah.
get scared. Yeah.
So you have
It's just-
between 3 and 7 minutes essentially per challenge. You have to do the challenge alone, and you win a shitload of money, essentially, and it's really, 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 really entertaining. I highly recommend the cheerleaders episode. That's a really good one. It's really
It sounds
cathartic
fun.
watching other people be really, really frightened.
I love that.
And like the flight attendants one is also great. Like watching who freaks out and how they freak out and why they freak out is really cathartic for me, because I know that I would be if you watch the cheerleader episode, there's one girl, she has a very hard time, and that would be me. It would be me. It was like she walks out and is like, nope, and just comes back inside.
Yeah, you can send me back down. Just send me back down.
And they're like, you have to do this. You have to do this now. And she's like,
I don't want the money back.
I don't want
the money.
Never
Just take it back.
mind.
Never
Yep.
mind.
I'd be like, here's your money back.
Yeah, like no, it's
Yep.
not even like you have to get through the challenge in order to win. And then once you get through the 3 challenges, you get a chance at the last thing where you can pick up a bunch of extra cash.
This is actually like, it seems niche, but there's a lot of people that that love these
this stuff.
types of.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean they wait for Halloween for this.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's usually friends who are like, I'd like to get scared, or one guy like, I signed me and my 2 closest friends up, and they
Right.
don't know about it.
Like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah, they get
Oh.
in there, and one of the girls is like, we are having a very serious talk about our
Gonna murder
friendship when we get
someone.
out of this.
Yeah.
Like, you
Friendship.
motherfucker.
What friendship?
Yeah. And then watching who makes it through too, because oftentimes the ones who are the most scared are the ones who actually make it through the challenges, because sometimes the challenges are actually really difficult.
Yeah.
And would be like, wow, you really have to like think and breathe, and you have 3 minutes to get through this, and not just to complete the challenge, but to get all the way back into the elevator.
So it's a horror escape room.
Yes,
It's a cool.
essentially.
Okay, got it.
It's a horror escape room where sometimes people like they're in the room with you, like the bodies
Got
will
it.
start moving, and you're just like, oh no, no.
You don't mind the producer chipping in on this one here.
What's up?
I did a lot of working on haunted houses. It's how my high school theater club did fundraising every year. The people who are the most sure they're not going to be scared are the people who are the most scared.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The guys are like, I'm here for the toughness. I'm gonna be the and I'm
not
like,
gonna be scared.
I'm so excited to watch you break down. Like you
I-
are gonna scream the highest.
Yeah.
I loved watching the where they do those pictures of people in the middle of the most terrifying haunted house, seeing all the bros looking like they're pissing themselves.
Yeah.
My favorite
That's
thing.
very
With
satisfying.
actual piss. Like,
Yeah.
just like, oh, I didn't expect you to. Oh, okay. All right.
Speaking of not bros, I have been watching a
Not
lot of
bros.
Jason Statham,
Segel.
Jason Segel, Jason Mewes.
Definitely not Statham.
Jason Segel, one of the Jasons. Watching
Jason
what
is
did I
Dad
watch?
bod Jason.
I watched
I Love You,
I
Man.
Love You Man and
That's a good one.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Thank you, Jess.
Does he have a widow's peak that is off center?
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Shit.
and there's something beautiful
Oh my
about
gosh.
it.
Also,
He-
someone who is the one who has a smile with a tooth directly beneath his nose.
Oh,
Tom
yeah,
Cruise.
yeah,
Chris,
yeah, yeah.
You'll never unsee it when you see it.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy, especially because if you ever see Tom Cruise in The Outsiders when he had snaggly teeth, it's just like, oh, that'll kill him.
Before the Tom Cruise we know and love today.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
before
Yes.
they put his one tooth in the center. The rest
So
of it,
now-
like, it looked like a bunch of fucking candy corn.
So
fighting
now
for
I'm gonna-
prominence
yeah.
inside of his mouth.
Now I'm
very
gonna be
British.
really
Yeah.
aware about
And-
this
and he
guy's
has
like
this,
off-center widow's
Oh,
peak.
right,
Yeah.
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 He is one of our. He is like the doppelganger for one of our friends, Sean.
Jason
Oh, he does
Segel?
kind of remind me of Sean.
He-
Yeah.
Yep. His voice, his personality, the way
Yeah,
he looks.
that's true,
It
that's
is
true.
nuts.
I have a big.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of our friend Sean, I have a huge crush on Sean, and
Yeah.
I have a huge crush on Jason Segel. I'll watch everything that he's in. Apparently, he's been gone for the last like 2 to 3 years in film because he's been writing a book, and he just
Oh.
released one.
Cool.
He's been taking a break.
This picture that he's got right now kind of looks like if Johnny Depp just kind of let it go.
Yeah, I'm okay with
You
that.
know?
I'm okay with that. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not critical. That is just,
I mean-
like,
Just like-
fucking.
I
dialed it
don't
back.
know. I feel like Johnny Depp now looks like Johnny Depp if he let himself go for a
Yep.
couple of years.
Because I feel like he
so-
did let himself go.
Go on food instead of cocaine.
Well,
There you go.
I was going to say if he let it go and then just kind of tried to be nicer to the ladies.
Kinda.
I
a
would
little
say
bit.
kinda
Imagine
because
that. Yeah.
he has the sense to me of somebody who's like on the surface really kind to ladies, but not always. Like
Johnny Depp or Jason Segel?
Jason Segel.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also
I'm
Johnny
not
Depp.
sure.
Don't ruin this for me. I hope you're wrong.
Yeah, I hope so too.
But because
I really like
I
him.
just like I
No,
can't.
not on purpose, but just like the kind of guy who's sort of he just doesn't understand,
Oh.
and he says something, and you're just like,
Yeah.
no,
Got
Okay.
it. Got
Yeah,
it.
he
Yeah.
gives me
Jason, no.
The Kevin Smith
Pratt vibe
effect.
from him.
Chris Pratt. Okay.
Oh, now see Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
I like Chris Pratt.
You can't. See, here's the thing.
I would
you
hang
can't
out
do
with
that.
Chris
Here's the
Pratt.
thing, though. I feel like Chris Pratt is the new Jason Segel. He's charming. He's like kind of like
Yeah, but
he's
he's like-
handsome, but he's like
But he's
unorthodox.
like uber
handsome.
religious and Christian.
Yes,
So,
yes,
and
but he does
conservative.
currently
so.
have a better body
Mm.
at the
Yeah,
moment.
oh, well, it's Chris Pratt, come
ever
on.
since
It's
the
Chris
Dark
Pratt.
30.
But here's the thing, though, is that
Yeah,
Jason
but-
Segel, not that this turned into a Chris Pratt versus Jason Segel debate, but Jason Segel, like, you know, on top of him being a very good actor at what he
Yes.
does, he's also a writer. Like, he wrote Forgetting Sarah Marshall, for instance.
Yes.
I don't know how much it
He
involved.
just looks like he'd be sort of sweaty all the time. That's all.
Yeah, he could be a sweaty man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
he does
just
that in
looks-
his films. That's a.
Yeah.
something that
Uh-huh.
gets
He
brought up a
definitely
lot.
sweats a lot.
Yeah,
He's
just
naked
sort of
a lot.
sweaty guy.
He's
Yeah.
like
That's what he
naked
did.
in like
and I
every
feel like that
movie.
would make it hard for me to be around him. Be
You
like,
know,
I'm sorry, dude, you're just so sweaty.
I bet he doesn't shake hands. He hugs.
He's he's a hugger.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
he's
I'm okay
definitely
with
a
that,
hugger.
too.
That
I
is-
definitely get that sense that you have big sweaty hugs in your future if you are bros.
Yes. That is my goal.
I'm okay
that
with
is
that.
my
playing
goal.
basketball. No, I love you, buddy.
Yeah,
Stop.
like don't hug me if you've just been playing basketball, but
If I see visible sweat stains, please not for the
Just not right now.
So as we wind down, we're talking a little bit about last week's required viewing, which was Sicario. We talked about that at the top of the show. So what we'll talk about is Fernando. You have you have something you want us to watch next week, or at least by next week for required viewing.
Oh,
what is that?
Actually, if I may touch on, if I may rewind a little bit.
Sure.
I never got to mention what I was watching lately.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just the fact that I was watching Batman: The Brave and the Bold.
Okay.
And I wanted to point something out because I put this on Facebook a while back, and it never really got a lot of traction, but it was something incredibly fucked up. It was the fact that there was an episode of Batman: The Brave and the Bold where the Joker was robbing the Gotham Museum of Comedy. And it shows him going through all of these famous props and throwing shit everywhere. Where it was like, where it was like joy buzzers that were used by famous comedians and all sorts of stuff and whoopee cushions. And one of the things that he picks up was a seltzer bottle. Now, that's a prop that hasn't been seen in decades. That's just something that nobody really uses. And because he's voiced by Jeff Glenn Bennett in this one, is talking about, oh, look, it's the Three Stooges seltzer bottle. The fucking, the closed caption guy calls it Arbuckle's Coke bottle. And it was like, Fatty Arbuckle was the comedian from the 20s whose career was ruined because he was accused of raping a teenage girl to death with a Coke bottle.
Holy shit.
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean, he was exonerated, but it ruined the guy's fucking career. And he, drank himself to death.
Yeah.
It was like, so nobody knows the real story of what it actually happened.
That's
during
insane.
Years behind closed doors with this, but it was like, the fact that somebody threw in, the blackest possible joke into, just the closed captioning of a children's TV show.
Yeah.
What the fuck
is
wrong with you
poor
guys?
It's like all those Disney sex things,
Yeah, it was like, the where it's all the spires of Atlantis and the Little Mermaid all look like dicks. But it was like,
right.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, a human
That's
being
really
died
dark.
of in a horrible way. And it was like, that's
a little bit
weird
much.
one to try to turn into a fucking throwaway game.
I wonder how many people caught that.
I don't know anybody else who has.
I was
because
about to
I
say,
looked around
because
for it.
you started describing it, and I was like, I think I've seen that episode.
Yeah, but it was just like, if you have on the closed captioning, it pops up, and it was like,
Jesus.
What? So
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
my recommendation for next
Boy, oh boy. That's a
What's your
dark one.
required viewing for next week?
That is a dark
Fernando?
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
So as I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's
that's-
okay.
I don't
Heated
mean to
moment.
bring it down.
No.
That was it just really depressed me.
It's in poor taste.
Something
It's
else.
interesting.
It was
Poor
incredibly
taste.
Anyway.
It's very interesting.
Anyway, what I wanted as required viewing for next week is if we can do just the first episode, that is totally cool. But if not, I'd like to go through about half a season's worth of the first season of Jessica Jones.
Okay.
Just because that was something that has proven to be utterly fascinating to me because it also, it's a story of redemption. It's a story of survival because especially for what she has to go through during this time, it adds an additional element of humanization
Yep.
to, people
The rise
in the
of the
super
victim.
element.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was, and plus it was like, you get to
Thanks,
see
Marvel.
the Doctor as the creepiest fucking creep.
Oh my god,
And he
he's
was-
so good at playing a villain.
Oh, and
So
he
good.
inverts all of his
He's
charm.
so good at
Like,
everything.
Yeah, and David Tennant, yeah,
Yep.
no, it's
10 out of 10
Mwah.
I
would
did not
do.
know David Tennant. I have not seen this.
I have a.
He's-
Yeah.
he's such a creepy super
I need
villain
to write down
in this.
'cause I do
Because
have a
were you familiar with the super villain Zebediah Killgrave, the Purple Man?
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like he has these they aren't
so good.
exactly able to pin down the source of the powers, but it was just like he says shit and people obey.
Okay.
So
Yep.
he is turned into a horrendous monster.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was just like you can think about all the horrible permutations in which that can be abused.
He's the worst person who could possibly get powers that control people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where people can beg him not to force them to do what they're doing, and
Right.
he's still just like, nope, you're doing this
You're
now.
doing
Yeah.
it
You
now.
know, and it was
Yeah.
just like, it's very frightening.
And his
I've-
voice is so
Excuse me, sir.
mesmerizing.
And his
daughter.
eyes just go so cold doing this shit from being
Yeah.
so bright and sparkly and charming to being like the fucking
Scariest dude,
creepiest.
man.
Yeah.
Of the Marvel
love
Netflix
him so much.
series that have come out, is this the
best
best that
one?
we have right now?
Yeah.
This
It is?
one,
Only one I
It's the only one our producer likes.
I think
I've
so.
liked them all, but
Okay.
it's well, except for Iron Fist, but that's neither.
Yeah,
That one's
I think
critically bad,
there
though,
were a
just in
lot of
general.
different ways they could have done with it. I think they jumped the gun.
I like a lot
Yeah.
of them. I think they're great. I really liked Luke Cage, but I think in terms of like just across the board how well it does. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Jess has got to be right up there.
Everything else is sank.
I've got a little bit of a comics tangent to go off on, if that's okay with everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that there was a suggestion that was made earlier. Had anybody ever seen like Agents of Atlas or read any of those comics or anything? Okay, because the reason that I say this is that instead of using Iron Fist as part of like the Defenders, why the fuck not go with Deadly Hands of Kung Fu? Because it was like, because the dude who played Shang-Chi, they wouldn't have had this thing where it was like, why did they use like, what's his name? Finn?
I don't know his real
Some
name.
white guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Finn White Guy.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Finn White Guy. You know, you made a game
It's
attempt,
just-
but bro. And
There
it
was
like,
an attempt.
There was so much
and-
backlash.
Yeah, and they could have used Shang-Chi as like the baddest motherfucker in there. Just sub him in, actually use an Asian actor as the martial artist.
Sure, right.
To be
Right.
to be somebody who will be
And
the bona fide ass kicker.
I understand the argument of, you know what, it is originally a white guy inside that doing all this stuff, and it's like, that's cool, but also, I mean, this is as diverse a cast as you can get.
Right. And
At least choose the martial artist to be an actual Asian guy who does his martial art
That would
correctly.
be so much
it
more
would have
badass.
rather neatly removed the entire argument.
Yeah.
You know, they could have done that, and especially like when you're bringing in other ass kickers like what was it? Like Misty Knight.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was just there were so many other awesome characters.
And how they try to save that with that series is like,
Yeah.
but look at his sidekick. Also look at the people who trained him. I was like, that's not gonna work
It's like,
because this is just, we've already gone through this. This is already a
Yeah.
problem. I understand why it should be okay, but it wasn't. Just really wasn't for a lot of people, and they didn't even pull off the right thing because
Nope.
what they wanted to happen sure as hell didn't happen.
Nope.
It all just came. It went from, we're gonna do martial arts to, oh yeah, we shouldn't do martial arts because they're terrible at this. We're gonna switch this over to something else. There's gonna be a suits drama. It's like,
and they literally like dude had what like 3 weeks of training going into it, and it was just like I'd like this.
You
is
could
just,
see he doesn't look like it.
No, he really does not. Anyway, Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Season
Am I going to
one,
be the only one that
let's-
hasn't seen any of Jessica? I've seen a little bit of season 2, and that's it.
Yep.
I don't watch the series.
Well, you're in
You-
for a
wait, what?
treat.
I've never watched the series.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, then-
we'll be
yeah,
the,
then
yeah.
this is
we'll be
a
in
good
I
it
think
thing.
you'll like it.
Yeah.
I like the direction where it went, and
I've seen
it's
good things
and
about it.
also it is very sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone in it is just really
Super
good
sexy.
looking.
Well, there's such a humanizing element that they put into it as well, because as we talked about, knocking them fucking super boots, you know, that's rad. But you know, and it's but there's also the story of what you go through, even when you are a super powered individual
Right.
who has been victimized.
Also a trauma victim having a sexual life.
Yeah.
Right?
Like a healthy sex life.
Yep.
Yeah.
The whole Kilgrave thing is all.
Yeah, because that's
Kilgrave
a
is all
major
about
thing.
fucked
Yeah,
upness.
that's
Yeah, and
that's a
it's-
major thing of like how you recover and watching someone who is mid recovery
Yep. Growth and recovery, while at the same time managing to
while
be the
being
most
sexual
charming.
and also being like, don't fucking touch me.
Yep.
Yep.
And like we said, as it turns out in the second season, the hottest mess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hottest
The
of
hot
hottest.
mess. Jessica
So
Jones.
hottest
hot
of
mess.
hot
It's a
messes.
hot mess. That is Jessica Jones, only on Netflix. Season 1. We'll get to season 2.
Soon to be our sponsor.
Soon to be our sponsor. Yes.
We
Yeah. Screen Source picked up by Disney.
Sure.
You know, just put us all as minor characters in the Disneyverse.
Oh my god, please.
I will be a background actor. I don't care.
I will be
In anything.
I will
that
be
you do.
Amadeus Cho's like
Hells
8th
yeah.
removed cousin. I don't
Sure,
care. I just
sure.
want to be in there.
Like, I don't care.
Right? Anything. Okay.
All right, we're going to play a
Next.
little game. This one, last 80s movie standing. Now, this was incredibly tough. And Jessica and I tried to be a bit
No.
diverse as far as genre.
man.
Sorry, it's so hard.
And this is, we know, is
know.
incredibly difficult. It's a little easier for me. Because maybe even you, because you have a favorite movie on here, huh?
Well,
No?
I
Okay.
love all of these movies. It's going to be real hard.
All right, so we started on your side last time. We went this way, I think.
No, I was the last
You were the last one. So
Yeah,
let's start on your side, and we'll go this way this time.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I picked Cool Runnings. Wait.
That's 90s or early 2000s.
All right, so
probably.
the way this is going to work is that we're going to get rid of them one at a time. The last movie standing is the best movie from the 80s of all time.
Okay.
Ha!
I am going
There's
to
too many
get
good
angry
ones.
calls from at least 3 or 4
I
of my
know, I
ex-girlfriends
know.
for this one.
I know.
But unfortunately, I cannot abide by false advertising, and that's why The Goonies has to go.
How dare you?
You hurt my heart so
I had to-
much.
hey,
You
know
shut
what?
your whore
I
mouth.
absolutely love it. But you know what? That scene never happened.
That's true. That scene never happened. That is not a real scene.
I mean,
No,
yeah.
The Goonies, absolutely
that
fantastic.
The Goonies is
Classic.
my favorite movie of all time. I think.
Yep,
Yes.
same.
Yeah.
All right, sadness. Okay.
So I'm
All right.
knocking one out?
Yep.
Well,
What are you getting rid of?
I'm getting rid of The Shining because of all those ones. I actually don't like it.
That hurts my heart even
You don't
more.
like The Shining.
I don't.
Okay. You know
That
what?
is
I'm
my
kind of
favorite
a
horror
bit
movie.
indifferent about it too.
I just...
It's
Yeah,
not my
I
favorite.
just don't like it.
I like his acting in it.
For what is
Not
it?
into
For what it
words
is
how I feel right now.
It's okay, Bond. Bond's in tears over here, by the way.
Oh, buddy.
Stanley Kubrick can go fuck himself.
Oh,
You're not wrong.
dear God.
Yeah.
You're not wrong about him, but
Yeah.
still.
him.
No, you're
I
not
have
wrong about Kubrick.
strong
and the way that
feelings.
he
No,
shot
he's a
the
piece of
ball.
shit.
The way he
Yeah.
just...
He is a
on
piece of
whole-
shit.
we're-
However,
that's
No one can ever say that,
That,
Kubrick
this
was
is for
a
a
good man.
different episode, but I have a lot of thoughts on Stanley Kubrick.
I have.
There has to be Screen Rant where we just go off on shit for like 2 hours.
That's essentially
Just
what this.
me?
Yeah.
It's just 15 minutes of what is pissed Eve off now.
I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, all the way through, at least. And as an adult, I think I've tried to go back and watch it 2 or 3 times, and I keep falling asleep. I'm getting rid of Ghostbusters.
wow.
Yep.
I really thought you were leading up to the Breakfast Club with that one.
Nerd voices.
No,
cried
he
out in
loves the
anguish on
Breakfast
that
Club.
one.
It is
He
what
loves
it is.
himself some Breakfast Club.
I
guys.
love
I
myself
do
some
too.
Breakfast Club. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, so Back to the Future, Aliens, and Breakfast Club.
That's what's
Yeah,
left.
that's what you're up against.
That's
a
easy.
snapshot right
It's
there.
easy.
Well, you know, God. You guys are
This
gonna
game
you,
is tough
you
for
guys
Vaughn.
are gonna hate me
Just
right
do it.
now.
Just do
Yeah,
it.
but
Back to
I
the
got rid of the
Future.
Shining.
You getting rid of Back to the Future?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of
That's
glad
what I
about that
would've done.
choice.
If you had to come down to Aliens and Breakfast Club. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah, I
would've
agree.
Wow, and
Yeah.
those are about as diametrically
That is-
opposed as it gets.
Yeah, so I got the hardest choice. For,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
feel like it's the hardest
You're
choice. 'cause it's the
welcome.
most opposite ever.
Do you have one that you like more so than the other? I guess is the question, right?
And we didn't choose Alien
Which one,
because
if
it was
offered, which one would you be
1979.
more likely to rewatch?
Yeah, let's be clear here. This is Aliens. The original
Number
one
two.
was
Yeah.
in 70s.
Yeah.
What?
Yep,
Yeah.
79.
I loved Aliens. Yeah. I also love the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So this is really hard for me.
Which do you love more?
Yeah. Which one wins? Let's
Yeah,
make that.
you
Yeah.
get a
If you
very
if you could
interesting
only take
final
one
segment.
with you to a desert island, which one would you take?
Bite my thumb at all of you.
I thought you said all the View with Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh man, I feel like so. Here's the thing.
What's the thing, Vaughn?
I'm gonna have to get rid of Aliens.
Okay.
Right.
You made the right decision.
Secret hope.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're right.
I mean,
I'm
this
okay with
table
that.
is the Breakfast Club. Of
We're
color
ready.
service.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Holy
I'm the
shit.
princess.
Wait, are you Ali
I'm
Sheedy?
I'm the
Hell
princess.
Who's
yeah.
Ali Sheedy?
Oh, yeah.
I am.
Actually,
Okay.
I am. Who
Oh,
would
am
you
I?
be?
Am I?
Are
what's
you
his
Molly
razzle?
Ringwald?
You're Molly Ringwald. You have the hair. What are you gonna
I
do?
want to be Molly Ringwald.
You know
Can
I don't
be
look
Molly
anything
Ringwald?
like her. I get that all the time. You
Do
be
you
Molly
really?
Ringwald. Yeah, I
I'll
get that
be
all the
Molly.
time.
I'll be the princess.
No, I am gonna be Molly Ringwald.
I want to be the bad boy.
Do I have Judd Nelson's hair in this?
You do.
Oh, you
shit.
do.
Oh
I
my
think you might have to
God.
be that.
Ah.
I think you might have to be.
I kind of have Ali Sheedy's
That's
hair
who
in
I
this,
wanna be,
but
though,
you know
for
what?
reals.
It's okay.
I don't
mean,
know who
if-
I'd be in this
Oh,
movie.
no, that's who you totally would be. In real life.
If I relate to anybody, I relate to the nerd, and I relate to the emo girl
Mm-hmm.
the most. I really like when she puts like
Ali
popcorn
Sheedy.
Yeah. And the nerd. The nerd's just so nice. He's the only nice person
Yeah,
in
he's
this
pretty
whole
funny.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
I love
Josh
His
kind
him.
of an
crying
asshole.
scene is so good.
I know.
Love that crying scene.
Oh my God.
Although I would like to point out, it's not that big of a skill, Miss Princess, to be able to put on lipstick holding it with your boobs.
Yeah.
Just
Really?
saying.
You meant crying on camera.
Yeah. That's
Actually, that's way harder for me.
That's the hardest thing
I
that ever
like
exists to
Anthony
me.
Michael Hall though.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Yeah.
seen Dead Zone?
Yeah,
The show?
that was it.
Loved
Yeah,
it.
that was
It's a really good show.
Loved it.
Oh,
Yeah.
USA.
Yep.
Hey, you know the Breakfast Club I think is a good pick. That's what I would have gone for
Yep.
if not the Goonies. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Very quintessentially 80s right there.
Yep.
Also, none of us wanted to be Emilio Estevez.
Nope.
No
So
one
sad.
wants to be Emilio Estevez.
Emilio.
And like,
no.
I don't know, what movie poster do you think of when you think of the 80s? Is The Breakfast Club more so than Back to the Is it those
Yeah,
two? Those
Breakfast
are the
two.
two? Breakfast
And
Club?
then it's the fist in the air.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't you forget about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most timeless one.
It's also got the most iconic soundtrack.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Forget about me.
And that is kind of the most iconic.
Yeah, we're starting karaoke.
What was this?
This is not karaoke.
You
I
guys,
don't know what you're talking about.
I love Molly Ringwald. I have to tell you, every single one of her movies,
I had an insane crush on Molly.
How can
she
you
is
not?
so sexy
Yeah.
and cute and just adorable.
She is not my type.
No.
No.
She's
But you've been compared to her.
all the time.
Really?
Well,
I don't look anything like her.
It's really just the hair.
It's
just
literally
the hair.
just the
Yeah,
hair.
it's just the hair.
And draw from a similar color palette. And
Yeah.
It's all that it
Yep.
is.
I know. I get Julianne Moore a lot, and I'm like, all right, I can see that, but
it's also
but I
because
never,
you don't
yeah,
have brown eyes like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, if you haven't seen 16 Candles or Pretty in Pink,
The
excellent.
trifecta.
Yeah.
Also, deeply weird and fucked up.
Yep, absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
So if you want a little side of like racism,
Well, I
and
guess that's true.
Yeah, those
and
movies-
or
Oh.
consent
yeah.
issues.
Poor fucking Gedde
Yeah,
Watanabe.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was treated
Destroyed.
He
I
was
know,
like
I know, I know.
assaulting music
Yeah.
in the background. for
Yeah,
that.
I know.
Not just
I know.
the music. His name was Long Duck Dong. Like
Yeah.
that's not.
No.
Super.
just-
It's problematic. It's
not fucking
problematic.
cool.
So
just
with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, of its
Just-
time.
It was a different
Yeah.
time.
I mean,
Just
it was
know-
a different time.
Values dissonance
Yeah.
is
Yes.
what we were dealing with.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
time period in which we did not care.
Well, and The Goonies was a movie which was
Goonies
for
also,
kids
yeah.
that had the words
Yeah.
fucking
Super
shit in it.
and like super ableist.
Yeah.
That poor dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think
He's
the
so
80s
cute though.
Yeah.
He's so adorable. You guys.
Yeah, they
Yep.
definitely treat him like a monster.
Baby?
But they end up being
I
his best
know.
friend in
They
the end.
do.
You know,
They
so,
do.
so
They kind of
It
treat him
takes
like
a
a
while.
pet.
Yeah.
This poor guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. You're right.
And Ramsey as Ma Fratelli was kind of rad.
That was
you
a.
know?
That was
She
a.
was, she was one. She's just
Ma.
one of my favorite.
She's great.
Villainous 80s
Yeah.
actors.
Yeah.
Jessica and I
yeah.
went to Portland and we like made it a
We
point
went
to
to
make
Astoria.
a day
We
drive
drove there.
to where they film most of the Goonies or a lot of the
yeah.
Goonies.
We went to the beach
Yes.
where the
The rocks.
they were at the end with the rocks. Oh my god, it was one of the most gorgeous places I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, super
So,
cool.
yeah.
Anyways, last little bit of this show here. We're gonna watch some trailers.
What is a trailer?
What is a trailer? It is a hard thing to make, is what it is.
Yeah.
And then shortly after,
What's that sound?
I'm very excited.
so let's see. We're watching the trailers for Tag, The Titan, Adventure Time, and The Rain.
Okay.
Let's get it. Let's get this. Let's get this
Let's
doing.
get this party started.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy Renner. I want to introduce the trailer to a movie called Tag. I'm in the middle of playing the game right now, so.
That is a good intro
Susan,
to a trailer.
You take Jerry to be your husband.
What's the difference between Episcopalian and Lutheran?
Episcopalians don't eat fish.
That's pescatarian. That's not a religion.
They're all fanatics. I don't know. You may kiss the bride.
I love you.
Sam Rockwell's wife and
What is happening?
Please tell me what's going on here.
Our group of friends has been playing the same game of tag for 30 years.
What?
What?
The entire month of May, every year,
Based
we
on
play
a true
tag.
story.
Well, you got me. You never know when someone's gonna pop up.
Congratulations, buddy. You're in.
Doing great, Anna. Our buddy Jerry is the best that ever played. And now he wants to retire.
Never been tagged. Just saying. So who's it?
You can't touch this.
This year we get Jerry.
Synchronize your watches. I don't know how to do that. I don't wear a watch.
Time is a construct.
Some couples go on cruises, some couples go camping, some couples go to strip clubs and have gangbangs. Oh! And this is just what we love. This is our gangbang.
Wow. Oh my god.
Seems like
What
the
a
game has really kept you
more
guys connected.
All right. So good to see you. Come on. It's been a while since we've done this.
This game has given us a reason to be in each other's lives.
I think your dad would have really wanted you to be. Yeah.
Tag him at the fucking. That's so good.
Eat my
dick. Balls.
But
Ice cream.
what?
He knows I'm lactose intolerant. He's taunting me.
Don't you know I'm gonna make you
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
What
I'm
a
so excited.
cool original concept for a film.
Watch.
I like how much shit they're putting Hannibal Buress in.
I know.
I want him in
love
everything.
Hannibal Buress.
Kind of at this point too, anything that Jeremy Renner is in, because I know he's had multiple moments where he's like, "I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore.
Not
I'm
doing
fucking
anything
done
anymore."
with it."
Yeah.
And like anything that if he decides, yeah, you know what, I'll spend some time doing this. I'm like, you know what, then I will spend the time watching it, sir.
It's just something I like about him.
Yes,
Me
he's not in
too.
enough.
Also-
He's not in enough.
I get the sense that if either he nor if either he nor Nathan Fillion existed, one would occupy the other space.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Someone would have to take over.
This movie stars Isla Fisher, Jeremy Renner, John Hamm, Hannibal Wallace, Ed Helms, Rashida Jones, Leslie Bibb, Jake Johnson, Hannibal Buress. It's just
A lot
it's
of people.
insane.
Yeah.
It's
Such a
amazing.
beautiful cast. Yeah. Wonderful.
I'm
wonderful.
excited.
Watch.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
see it.
forgot to mention at the top of this, it's either watch, rent, or skip. My vote is a watch.
Watch.
Yeah, that looks like way too much fun.
Sure.
I think that's the one where it's
Yeah,
like, you know,
like, we should all
we're
go to the
screen
movies
That is
together.
that is a
to
great
movies.
date night
Let's
movie. I
let-
think.
There's a couple of,
Yeah, I was gonna say we could all go on a huge date.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then review, and then we can
It's a good
review the
time,
film
guys.
together.
You're all
It'll be
asking me
beautiful.
out.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, it is a group.
Will you go watch
One
this
big
movie with
group
us?
date. It'll be wonderful.
Yes.
Hey, I will absolutely go out with all of my friends. I self-identify as polyamicable.
Oh, there we go. That's lovely.
Up next, the Titan. Soldado.
Oh dear God.
Okay.
This
What
is gonna
is this
continue.
about? What
What
is
is
this?
this?
It's a Netflix.
As nuclear fallout over the Pacific continues, the federal government
Got
has
real
declared
real
Los
quick.
Angeles
Yeah, this is not tag.
uninhabitable.
It's tag with missiles.
The base is 4 square miles.
Basically what war is.
To be sure, Lieutenant, we're highly classified.
You are gonna be the first man on Titan.
It's just an honor to have been selected, sir. Not gonna let you down.
Our resources have been depleted. In 10 years, half the world's population will have starved to death. Half the planet will be uninhabitable. But there is one place that gives us hope. The largest moon of Saturn. What if Titan could become our home?
Is that
You will become enhanced
Avatar?
humans.
what's it?
Yeah.
Space movie.
Most of you will fail.
And that's like
Some
the last
people
time we
will
saw.
break during the training.
You're talking forced evolution.
I'm talking survival of the species.
I've studied your work. I know what we're doing here. It's bigger than all of us.
Is this the last time some of us will get to drink for a while? I never thought I'd see something like this.
It's the girl from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
That's how
she's
we
in
know her.
Game of Thrones.
He's changing.
Oh, so that he can.
This isn't space research. It's criminal and becoming violent. I want to finish it. I can see everything.
There is something alive inside of him.
He's a soldier. There's no going back.
I wouldn't have thought I would have got this far.
How can you possibly know what he's becoming?
If we can't control him, all of us are dead.
Wow. This made a turn that I
This-
was not
Yeah,
expecting.
I went through 3 different movies.
Yeah, that was.
In
I thought at
2
first I thought it was
minutes.
gonna be like a contagion. Half the
Wow.
world's stuff is gone.
Yeah, and then
resources.
it was like, oh, now
That
we're gonna be colonizing,
looking.
and then it was like, no, monster.
It's a species monster
it's
horror
still
film.
Avatar. It's just now he's becoming another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is kind of just still Avatar.
Okay.
Wow. I rent.
I'll rent that.
Yeah. Well, I might even rent. I might not even watch it
I'll
honestly.
go watch it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Might be a skip.
I might not watch it either.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
to be truly
Here's-
honest,
I've done this
I
show
might
for
not watch
25
it.
episodes. Like your watches turn into rents and your rents turn into skips. It's just the reality of life. I don't know.
Life catches
That's,
up, yeah.
life catches up. So that's probably a skip for me. Adventure Time teaser trailer. I believe this is for the finale of this television show.
Oh wow. That's.
Do you know about the Great Gum War?
Mm-mm.
Well, get ready to have your hair blown back.
Ladies and gentlemen, to war!
FYI, Princess, I'm not going anywhere. I'm also staying. This is a war I have to fight. We all have to.
Come along with me, and the butterflies and bees.
That sounded like Zoe Deschanel singing.
Kind of,
Yeah.
I got goosebumps.
yeah. So who are our Adventure Times fans at this table?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
Okay.
what are you thinking? What's going on in your heads right now?
Are you sad that it's ending?
I think at some point it had to end.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been on for a long time,
it's been on
right?
for
Yeah,
a while.
they let it go for a very long time.
Mhm.
It's just like it needs to wrap up with a suitably epic adventure, and if it's going to be some sort of great war thing, that sounds perfect to me.
It's how it started.
That was a very
exactly.
oddly solemn ending.
I mean, if
or
you watch the
trailer.
show, it's kind of like it's been getting like that for a while now.
Yeah, it's because it was whimsical, then it very gradually steered into more
Got darker
serious
and
stuff.
darker.
And then
Okay.
once you kind of discover the nature of the world that they are living in, it was just like then it takes not a hard turn, but it's just like you
But
see
a
what's
turn.
right around the corner.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of.
Harder at Simon and Marcy than I have at basically any
Yeah.
movie ever.
I feel that.
Jessica and I are big fans of Over the Garden Wall,
Oh
which
my
is
God,
created by the
so good.
same people that made Adventure Time, and so I don't know why I have not dipped my toes into
I
this
know,
yet.
neither have I, but I think we should.
Somebody told me about this.
Yeah.
And then they expressed appallment that I didn't know what this was. So
It's very
let's-
very good, very good.
I've decided to stop doing that when people haven't seen things really great, and it's like, what? You haven't seen
Because
that?
there's like too much
Oh,
shit to
I've decided
see.
to be
The
like, you know
response to that
what?
now is-
Should you decide to do that?
There's an
you are in
endless
for a
amount of
treat.
things
This is
to
a very
watch
exciting
and
thing
not
to
enough
do.
life
positive.
If
to
you
live.
well, because whenever that happens to me, they're like, "What? You haven't seen this?" And I'm like, "Jesus fucking Christ! Okay."
Now I don't want to see
Now
it.
I'm not gonna because you're
Just
a dick.
to spite
and
you.
so instead, if I just be like, "Well, if you want to,
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful, and I think you would like it,"
Yep.
and then they'll more likely watch it.
You're right.
I do
Positive
that.
reinforcement works better.
How dare you?
It's literally the
How dare
only
you.
place in my life where I'm an adult.
Spoiler alert: The
we
Rain
go.
trailer.
What is?
I don't know.
What is
We're
this
we're
one?
about to find out.
Netflix again.
Wow, Netflix killing it.
If it was going to go wrong somewhere,
It would have been at camp.
it was not supposed to be here.
It's always supposed to go wrong at camp. That's how it works.
We were taught that we were safe, that we were the happiest people on earth. Our comfortable lives were never meant to change. So when everything fell apart, we were the least prepared.
Jeg tror, verden er som før. Det er den ikke.
It's Danish.
Stay dry. Stay alive.
Wow. Cool. That looks dope, guys.
That looks amazing.
Have you guys watched Dark?
Post-apocalyptic Danish original series.
Dealing with acidic rain.
8
I'll watch that.
episodes,
I'll so
comes
watch
out
that.
May 4th. So that is
That's a
May
watch.
4th. So yeah.
That's a watch.
That's a good. That was a good little teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys should watch Dark. by
After
the
a
way.
brutal
Side note.
virus wipes out most of the population, 2 young siblings embark on a perilous search for safety.
Okay.
Oh, it's
Okay.
brother.
Oh, it's brother sister. Okay.
Well,
It's
he's
like the Game Brothers.
Yeah. No, Jessica's right. Dark was one of the best things on Netflix, probably ever.
German show on Netflix.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
the
really
fact-
under the radar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot more. I like the fact that Netflix is spreading out to do like these non-English
Mhm.
series.
Yeah.
And do not watch it dubbed.
I'm down with Netflix.
How are they?
y'all.
Yeah.
need a
How can they
Give me a
not,
job.
honestly?
Yeah.
Give me a
Hire
job.
me.
Mhm.
God damn it, Spielberg.
I'm a good actor. I
It's
swear.
okay. You can admit you're wrong in 5 years, Spielberg.
So that's it for Screen Source.
Never.
Make sure to
He'll
tune in
never.
every Sunday at 6 p.m. MT on potentially twitch.tv/ColorCircuitLive or facebook.com/ColorCircuitLive or YouTube, which we don't. Did we change the URL? No, we didn't. But it's going to be probably youtube.com/ColorCircuitLive. Up next, Deadpool trailer reaction. We're going to cut this. Deadpool 2. Sorry, of course. We're going to cut this. We're going to upload that. I'm very excited because I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
All right.
Okay, cool. So let's cut, and we'll be back up in a minute. Thank you.
I'm so excited.
Are you still gonna be able to do stand up?